Hello, 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 hello. Hello, 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 and welcome to Soul Citizens. Don't be smiling at me, fastcart. Yes, I was talking without keying the mic. Welcome back, everybody, to Soul Citizens, and we are back for another week. And this week, I have my wonderful compadres, Mr. Fastcart, FC Fastcart. Say hello, Fastcart.
Hello, everyone. I'm FC, also known as fastcart. Welcome to another episode of Soul Citizen. Episode, what, 15?
I don't even know where we are now. Yeah, we're getting close to 20.
15.
Yeah, okay, so we're getting close to 20. Awesome. And, of course, with us today, we have the professor himself, Mr. KEMI65. Kimmy, give a shout.
Audio 7. Audio 7.
Your volume's just a little low. Either you dropped your voice. Now, you probably got real kind of into that midnight
Audio
voice thing.
7
There
right
we go.
there, y'all. Audio 7. How's it going?
There we go. There we go.
Right.
Good to have both these guys back again. Thank you guys for checking in.
Griffin.
Yeah.
They're hearing it double on screen.
What's double?
They're hearing it double on screen.
Oh, I know why. Hold on. Okay, that's what happens when you're doing way too many jobs there. How's that?
Right.
That should be a lot better
girl?
now. Hey, everybody. Is that a little bit better?
That better for everyone? So sorry about that. Go ahead.
No, I'm glad. Thank you for telling me. Hey, Shiver. Awesome. Much better. Thank you, Josh. We appreciate that.
All right.
Okay, so listen, we got a lot to cover today. Just one quick point that we want to highlight. Well, two things we want to highlight we talked about. One of them is that we hit a landmark today. What was the landmark? Everybody know what the landmark was? What was it, Kimmy?
I have no idea.
3 mil, baby.
3 million? That's all we hit? Was
3 mil.
3 million? That's all we
3
hit?
mil and burning.
3 million. That's all we hit, Kimmy.
I thought it was 300,000.
300,000?
Oh, yeah,
no,
right.
No, 300,000.
Right.
I don't think it was 3 mil. It wasn't 300,000, but it was $300 million. $300 million is what we hit. Right?
Really?
Yeah, a number that we won't. He who will remain nameless said that Star Citizen would have to hit in order for it to be completed.
Yeah,
So,
hey, we hit it, so we're
So
good.
he hit it. Okay, so
prophecy fulfilled, right? There we go, huh? Yeah.
shut the.
Yeah, I know. A couple of weeks back, we did a show where we met with Chris Neal from Massively. Thanks again, Massively, for allowing him to come in for the interview. And one of the numbers that we tossed out was that when GTA 5 came out, that cost $265 million, and with inflation today, that would have cost $296 million. So just to give you an idea, we're around that same amount of money that it took to put out GTA 5. But they had a studio, a staff, an engine, and a whole lot of other things. Right there, you go, Fast.
Two games, though.
Yeah,
Two games.
but they're making 2 games,
That means
right?
it's under budget.
There you go. That's the way to look at it, Kimmy. That's the perfect way to look at it. So we just want to celebrate that with CIG, CI, whatever you want to call them, GIG, whatever you want to call them. We want to celebrate the fact that they've hit this landmark of 300 million. And fans, as you guys know, and backers, you guys have done it. You have continuously through the year of 2020 raised even more money for the development of Star Citizen, which to me is truly, truly amazing. So thank you guys for that. The other thing we want to talk about is this week is what's this week? What is CIG calling this week, Kimmy? What are they calling it?
Alien Week.
Alien Week. All right.
Alien Week.
And you know what? I was talking with my buddy Cosmic, and I said to him it would be really interesting if this isn't just about ships, but if they introduce some type of fauna. And lo and behold, boom.
Yes.
Critters are coming, right? Which is so awesome. We had already heard rumors about the space cow. Well, not just rumors. They had verified. Space cow was coming.
Oh, yeah.
They had also verified the fact that we would have space whales. But these 2 new creatures that they introduced to us, one of whom looks like a Yeti, and the other one looks like a nightmare. That's all I will say about the second one. But
crab.
yeah, the
crab and her minions.
the crazy
Her
crab,
baby
right?
minions. Yeah.
The luminescent crab.
They made a meme. Remember the Constellation commercial? They had the small crab, and now
Oh
they had the
yeah,
big crab.
yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Ah.
So, for those of you who are
Yeah.
already spooked about going on moons like Cleo in the dark and you don't see anything, imagine what will happen if you just happen to stumble across Mama Crab, right?
Well,
That'll be
they
scary.
said they placed it in a specific area.
Yes,
and
they
that's
did.
Pyro. For
Pyro,
sure.
right? Yeah, so
That's
yeah.
great.
Good for
That's
the pirates.
great
Good for
for
the
the
pirates to
pirates.
live with, right? All
They
you
deserve
criminals.
it.
Send it over there. Send it over there with the
Send
criminals.
it over there and the babies.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how all that plays out. So we're really excited about that. And of course, there's more to come, right? We know there's going to be more to come, so that's going to be awesome.
Water roaches.
Yeah. So what we want to do, we want to get rid.
Griffin,
Yeah.
Sorry, can you read what Shiva said real quick, please?
The crabs are at least solitary
I know,
creatures.
right?
They don't work well with us. That is very true. So we have to worry about the crabs,
Yep.
right? Unless you
Perfect
walk
in
up on
Pyro.
one. Unless you walk up on one, then it's going to be a scary event. So
Yeah,
we'll see.
they kind of camouflage themselves as rock formations.
Mhm.
That's the
Yeah.
crazy thing. And can you imagine something going down and you're having an altercation with a group and you're doing a firefight? So what are you going to do? The fastest man.
Yeah.
whoever can run
I mean,
fastest to that
the
ship.
thing is, I don't play games like horror movies and stuff like that, or horror genre and stuff like that. I'm not good with jump scares, but you know, as soon as you see a rock, you gotta get worried. Like, is that
Oh,
a
yeah.
crab or is that a rock?
Oh yeah,
Yeah. You're going to shoot at it before you walk up to it, if nothing else. So you never
If
know,
the
right?
fact- got a hard shell, right? So it's probably specific weapons that can take it down. So you're probably going to have a demand on those particulars as far as those type of weapons that can take that kind of thing down in the pyro area, right?
And I'm sure that any other weapon will just piss it off, right? More than likely. Ones that don't work against it will just piss it off. So,
Damn.
we need to find
Damn,
out for
Griff.
sure. We need to find out for sure which one works before we go in
Right.
and test it. That's for sure.
Do not go alone
wanna
on
make
those
'em mad.
missions.
Yeah, for real. Well, listen,
I'm going to make sure of that. Do
Yeah.
not go alone.
absolutely. Well, guys, listen, you guys aren't here to hear us just rattle on and on because we will do that. But we are here today to talk about CitizenCon 2015. I don't know if you guys have any reflections on this particular CitizenCon. What I remember about this one is it was the first one that I eagerly anticipated sitting in front of my computer and watching. I had been following Star Citizen from a year before, and even when that one was on, I missed it. At some point, I didn't get the whole CitizenCon thing, so when I saw it, I just kind of saw the clipped YouTube videos. But by this time, I knew what it was about, and I was like a lot of people who that day, whether they were working or not, they had their computer tuned in to see what was being said. Fastcart, did you have any memories of this particular one, 2015?
Yeah, I'm the same as you. Like, I started back in 2014, so this is the first CitizenCon I watched, like, when it was doing the presentation and all that good stuff. So, yeah, same for me.
Okay. What about you, Kimmy?
Well, technically, right? Technically speaking, SIG had so many issues with their media
Mm-hmm.
and this failing and that failing. And this was the year where they actually leased or hired media sources.
Mhm.
They outsourced their media source.
Oh, just
to
Tom
do
Hennessy
the,
and people?
say again?
Tom Hennessy?
Possibly, yeah. But it was the fact that they leased out that as a resource so that they wouldn't have any more hiccups.
Yeah, the contract.
And now we're kind of like, like on the way of struts. It's like we want to see those hiccups, but the latest CitizenCon, it didn't show any hiccups. So it's like, whoa, wait a minute, they're debunking the tradition. But yeah, that was one of the things that stood out with 2015 was the media debacle they were trying to avoid.
Mm-hmm. There was another piece too that I was a bit naive about at that time, and that was the fact that I didn't know that 2014 was the original suggested date that Squadron would be released, and then it got pushed back 2 years to 2016. So this was the year in between that, and I didn't really completely comprehend all the controversy that was going on. And I started to grasp it once I saw this particular CitizenCon and started kind of coming together. Then when all of us went to 2016. that's when we really found out what the controversy was in relation to when the game would be released. So
Right.
And
let's
this is the year in December where they went to the Game Awards show where they had Mark Hamill and Chris Robert come out and announced the game for 2016.
Oh,
absolutely,
nice.
absolutely, absolutely. So we're gonna jump into it, guys. Get your drinks, get your food, get your snacks. This is a 2-hour presentation. Hopefully that won't scare you away. But there's some interesting things here that you will comment on as we go through it, as we always do.
Hey,
So we're gonna roll
Griffin,
it.
I'm always ready. I'm not wearing pants or anything.
Okay, let's jump into it. Here we go. And I must stop because I forgot to do my middle waiver thing that I was supposed to do. This starts out with a speech by Sandy Gardner.
Ah,
And it's important that you understand what's behind this because if you don't, it just will make absolutely no sense. But Sandy wrote a letter that was basically a thank you to the community for the support that she was being given because during this time there was a lot of controversy about her role with CIG. There were some rumors that were being spread. There was even some personal attacks on her via the internet. And so she originally wrote this letter, and she'll say this, I originally wrote it to the staff, but the staff felt that it was important that she should read it to the community. So when you see a little bit of emotion and stuff going on, for those of you who were around, you remember this. But if you weren't, we just want to give you the background so you kind of have an idea of what was going on, okay?
I'm putting the link in Twitch chat.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome, everybody who's here, and welcome to everybody online. I'm Sandy Gardner, just in case you didn't know. So I had actually written a small letter that I was going to write to the whole community. However, Ben and the rest of our team suggested that I should read it out to everybody on the stream tonight. So that is what I'm going to do. And it's in English. Yes, English confirmed. So in 2012, I planned Star Citizen's crowdfunding campaign, and I've been running the project's marketing in its entirety up until now. I remember staying up all night with Ben Lesnick almost exactly 3 years ago to rewrite the very first presentation for Star Citizen. And thankfully, I did not do that last night. The kudos goes to the Foundry 42 team and our other teams. I've been surprised on a lot of fronts, having done this project, as it is my first entry into the gaming industry. And I can say with full conviction that this is the most challenging yet rewarding project that I have ever worked on. From being the target of an anonymous hate campaign to flowers and gifts and many compliments from a lot of our fans. So thank you to all of you who wrote me a nice customer service ticket. It really makes my heart and soul and spirit very happy to know that I'm doing something that means so much to so many people. Star Citizen is, and always will be, more than a AAA game, so much more. Star Citizen speaks to the pure essence of humanity and the purpose of human beings, and I firmly believe that this is why there are so many passionate people on both sides of the fence. Please raise your hand if you have made at least one heartfelt connection with another human being while being part of this project in any shape or form. Please give up a smile for one memory on Star Citizen that has absolutely made your day. And recount an experience you have had that has made you believe in the power of being part of something truly special and creating something great from nothing as part of a growing community with common interests. We are represented by 243 unique countries, 31,218 organizations. On the forums, the fans have created 260,912 threads with 5,593,512 replies, 1,622 comlinks published since October 2012, 1,406 citizen spotlights, 222 deep space radars, 232 live streams on the Community Hub since we've launched. Our whole team gives everything to deliver the best experience possible, and in return, we are both humbled and grateful to all of our passionate fans who respond how they feel that they want to. Some of you tell a friend, some of you give us fan gifts, give us compliments and fan mail, and many other forms of reciprocation. Speaking for myself, I have cried on many occasions hearing fans recount to me how much I have helped change their lives for the better. It makes me really happy and makes the countless hours and sacrifice to the work worthwhile. In conclusion, I would like to thank from the bottom of my heart our whole
Thanks
team
for the follow.
and all of our fans for sharing this opportunity and experience to see our shared dreams come true.
Yeah, I remember that now.
They used to chant like that when fastcart came in the room.
Thank you.
No, that was DJ Night.
Thank you.
Oh, God.
But in truth, just a little. Oh my gosh, thank you.
Aww.
Wow.
Thank you.
Sandy's group wanted
Thank you,
to
Kashmir.
surprise her with these. So
Kashmir 22.
they basically just told me I needed to interrupt, but we kind of in the middle of the whole thing. But anyway, here you go.
The way Aaron just took the mic from here, I was like, hey, Taylor, that's nice and all, and I'm going to let you
Sister-in-law.
finish.
Thank you. Thank you. It's not like I'm not taking the flowers. I just wanted to end with that I signed on to this project because I truly believed in Chris's vision, and I really wanted to help him make this vision come true. Being his wife, as you all know, it's not a secret. And so without further ado, the man who creates all of this, Chris Roberts.
I don't know if we're going to play a video about how we got here. Thank you, Annie.
Chris.
All right.
Let's put on makeup.
Okay. Welcome to CitizenCon. This is the 3rd anniversary of us actually starting the crowdfunding campaign. It's amazing to be standing here and have such an amazing community and such an amazing team behind me and in the other offices around the world. So we thought it would be appropriate to start CitizenCon we normally do with a sort of introspection of the past 3 years. So I'm going to play this, watch this, and we'll carry on.
Please welcome to the stage, Chris Roberts.
Good morning, everyone. So I'm going to build a universe. I'm going to do a PC game like the old Wing Planners I did, which was if you've got a great PC, this is really going to show it off. You're not going to be able to get this experience anywhere else. I'm hoping that a lot of you want to be in this universe, because I do, and I want to play this game.
No consoles.
By the way, the one on our main site is still.
Oh, for Squadron 42, probably. Next gen.
Cheers. Cheers.
Mark Skelton.
That office has grown way beyond that now.
So obviously we don't have many people in it right now, but over the next.
Wait.
And they're not in the Santa Monica office now either, right?
Nope.
I think the number is 575.
So everyone can communicate and talk to each other. And then
I think they're still in Santa Monica.
Is that where the LA office is located? They just call it LA?
LA is Santa Monica.
Oh, okay.
so this is the basic hacker.
Back in my day, we didn't have a
I remember
hangar.
the hangars, man. Oh, nice. JJ 2078. It says May is a permanent spot for the Adelaide citizen in honor of Sandy's birthday. He was born there. Awesome.
64-bit, this is from CitizenCon 2015, and they were in, where were they at on this one? You guys remember where it was
They were
at?
in
I just had it
UK. They were
It
in
was
the
UK?
UK on
Yeah.
this one. Concord Jet.
So this is
Austin.
Manchester
Keeping it
Airport.
strange.
Yeah. They
Saturday,
were at the
October
hangar.
10th.
So this is.
If I could move to Austin, I would.
Remember those days? 10 for the chairman?
Congratulations.
10 for the
Yeah,
chairman, yeah.
people are expecting that we get a letter or $300 million.
Hi,
A letter from the chairman.
welcome to Around the Verse. This is our very first show, which we're very excited about.
I miss Around the Verse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I miss Wingman's hangar. That was it for me.
And that was before my time. So, like, Around the Verse was my first community thing.
Here it is, Eric Peterson. Eric Wingman Peterson.
The great starship, next great starship.
Yeah, that was a big deal. Elwin Bachelor
Oh,
got a
this is the
job out
year
of that.
Judd joined them.
Garrett? Oh, he
No,
was
Jared's
Disco
been with
Lando
them
on the
5
old
years
Wingman
now.
hangar
Welcome
days.
to the new office.
So this is the third studio now
really
coming
excited
up.
to be here, settling in. And what I want
Boundary
to do now is
42?
introduce you to some of the
Third
guys.
studio, yep.
Yeah, UK, Manchester. That's where Chris was
Yeah,
born.
now that one is no longer Founding 42. That one is Cloud Imperium.
Right.
A lot of British rock bands came out of Manchester.
Yeah.
I remember those days.
Oh yeah. People still lament about how the flight model was spot on when this first came out. Oh yeah, the helmet toss.
So I said, this is back in the day when Founding 42 was back on was only on one floor. Now they use the entire building.
Oh
That's
yeah.
true. That's true.
Yeah, that's true, Shiver.
I remember these hangars, boy.
Yeah, I
That was a
miss
big
them.
deal.
I miss them. I
That
miss
was
them
a
because they
big
could
deal.
expand
Yes.
sideways.
Yes, a fast car. They did scale. And you needed the buggy. Like, hey, I'm Bruce Wayne. These are my cars.
Oh, there's the boy.
Yeah, I could never get the hang of
Current
that,
office
man. It
space
saved my
over
life.
here in Frankfurt. This one? Current office space.
Frankfurt.
Welcome to the office.
Yeah, these were the original Crytek designers for based out of here.
I've met Brian Chambers, and it's true what they say. His hair is magic.
Yeah, it is. It is. I wanted to touch it, but I didn't do it.
He's a nice guy. He is.
I did, man.
By some big corporation, it's not financed by some big investor.
This is Chris going back into the studio of being a director.
But do you remember that at first they were only releasing this space to do all the capture? They ended up buying their own rigging and stuff later.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
guess who assisted them?
And I think they have it in the Los Angeles studio.
Yep.
Yeah. Guess who assisted them?
Who?
Oh,
Andy
Serkis.
Serkis.
Oh yeah, we know
Yeah,
that who was
okay.
in it. Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. You did all all of the Van Duel stuff.
Yeah, he has a motion capture studio as well. So imagine all
Yeah,
the
that's who they were using.
Yep, that's
Yeah,
who they were using. Yes, it was. They were
yeah.
using his at the time. Yeah.
and the cross-pollination of information that they were learning from him. So that was great.
Yep. Couldn't get no better person for it, that's for sure.
No way.
Yeah.
Exactly. Good point, Griff. River says about 80 PCs ranking.
Yeah, the multi-crew demo they did at it was either PAX East or GDC this year in 2015. Because I don't think they show it on this one, but I can't remember.
Well, PAX East of this year was the one where they did the Santa Ball, and yeah.
Today,
So that was my first citizen event.
Almost at a million.
You remember the old school before the Atari 2600? There was this thing called the Telstar, and you had hockey, tennis, and then you had this game called Jai, and that's 07 for the follow. Zakio 61307. Thank you, appreciate it.
But we've been ramping up to deliver the game that you guys.
Jai was very similar to Sata Ball.
That you guys want to play.
Which they are still talking about, and they're dead set on bringing that to the forefront in the gameplay.
Today than we did a few months ago.
Sata Ball is not
with some of the
dead.
changes that we've made, we're actually have more people working on the project.
But I think the latest news as far as the studio, they have what 575 people currently, and they have basically, believe it or not, they have like about 80 positions they need it filled
which is
currently right now as we speak.
Just 18 months ago, they were moving in, and I don't know, Aaron, how many did you have when you moved in here? Maybe like 10 people or 15? There was 6 when you started. So, and what we're going to show tonight, a lot has been done by the incredibly talented team here in the UK. A lot's been done by the new team we have in Frankfurt, and also the team we have in Austin, and the team we have in LA. And we couldn't do it without
Boxytrot, thank you for the follow. We appreciate that.
Just talented group of individuals we have that, I've been working with these guys for the last few weeks here on getting some of this stuff done here, and there isn't a more dedicated bunch of folks. We're there every night till pretty late. In fact, I think some of the stuff we'll show later on, Declan, who's one of our designers, I think was up for about 24 hours putting together. Not to say that everyone should be up for 24 hours working on stuff, but when you're going to show it to the whole community, sometimes you want to make sure you show something really great. So, and we really want to. I mean, this is a game that's a game of our dreams, and I think it's a game of your guys' dreams. So, there's not a single person on this team that doesn't feel that way, and if there honestly was someone that didn't feel that way on our team, they shouldn't be part of the team, because everyone here is dedicated to making the best possible game, and it's not just a game; it's a universe we want to build. So
almost like he's prophesizing the future.
All right. So we're sort of going to talk about the upcoming plans. The first thing that we're going to release, which is going into sort of the wider test next week, is SC Alpha 1.3, and then it should be shortly in the hands of you guys there afterwards. So it's an incremental step beyond what we currently have. So we've got a couple of new weapons. We haven't actually had any new weapons in the game since the end of last year. So we've got a couple of fun ones. There's a huge ballistic cannon that's about size 4, and a mass driver that's about size 2 that's really good for sort of long
Groove
distance
elevator
sniping.
interface.
More emotes.
Still working on it.
Character loadout selector.
Matter of fact, they pushed it back to 3.11.
A bunch of extra stuff in ArcCorp. Things like improved elevator and chat and AR. Come on, move. Buggies are actually now going to be down in ArcCorp.
The killer buggies.
Respawn, because if you kill yourself with a buggy, you're going to have to respawn.
Walk at your own risk.
We're increasing multiplayer, so we're aiming to try to get
that was a train wreck.
Significantly more than I think the 25 we have now.
In stupidity.
More closer to 40 if we possibly can. So the testing is looking good for that. Updated hangar lighting, which I think we've shown a bit.
I think
better
a lot of this made it in within a year.
And a whole bunch of sort of little
yeah, a lot of it did.
So that will be in your guys' hands very, very shortly. And then the
yeah, Kemi and I were discussing earlier about what took over a year to make, and I think most of the stuff made it within a year.
And this is going to be the beginning of
that one maybe
the full
not so
Star
much.
Citizen universe. So we've sort of made a decision to put, so instead of multi-crew and instead of it being Arena Commander, we're putting you
Notice
in
a lot of things that are
the beginning of
delayed
what is
because
the Star
of
Citizen universe. So
one
the
tech
is going to be around,
becomes dependent on the
Crusader,
other.
which
As
is a
they
huge gap
expand
share.
out,
It's in the
they
Stanton
realize
system.
they're realizing how many layers
SE
that
Alpha
are
2.0,
connected to
everything's
other
gonna be in. So
aspects
you're gonna
of the
have the
game,
space
so they
flight,
have to kind of
the
wait
EVA,
for the other
the
tech to
the
get
first-person
developed to
combat
then
shooting,
add that
social, and we
now
actually have
ready
missions.
tech
So you'll,
and
there's lots of
attach it
different
to
areas to
that
visit. There's something like
needed
currently
tech.
38 different missions you can sort of do
If I'm wrong, but they
around
moved to
it. So you'll be able
64-bit
to fight against AI
later.
or
No, this is when they
fight
did it.
against
They
other
shifted.
players or cooperate with other players. So it's going to be sort of a big sandbox for people to play around in. And you know, it's sort of enabled by the large world technology. So just to give you an idea, the playable area on the large world map
dubbed as dual
that we're
position.
currently using is 1 million kilometers by 1 million kilometers by 200 kilometers high. So that's, well, if you just want to talk about square area, it's about 1 trillion kilometers. And if you want to actually talk about the overall volume, what was it? 200 quadrillion kilometers. So to give you an idea, I think we were trying to figure out other games. The biggest game that we could find online that was said was the Elder Scrolls 2, which is meant to have 161.
Stop giving spoilers, Kimmy.
And then there was Lord of the Rings, which I think 71,000 kilometers map. And Skyrim's actually smaller than those. So in terms of layout and area, that's why we have the large world, is so we can put huge areas in them and play solar systems. I do realize that a full solar system's much bigger than 1 million kilometers wide, although on some level we'll do some compression of play spaces because you don't want to be, even at 0.2 speed of light, you don't want to be sitting for 3 hours like in quantum travel. But we're definitely, I mean, it's a huge play area. I mean,
some people don't want to spend 30 minutes, 20 minutes in quantum travel.
That's what we're putting you in. The actual area around Crusader that we're going to put you in is
they've been tweaking it into a good spot, you know what I mean, for system travel.
Very, very big. You know, obviously we've got the multi-crew technology in SE Alpha 2.0, so all the ships have local grids.
Well, if you're spending 20 minutes or 15 minutes in quantum travel within a system, how long is it going to take to go in between systems?
Well, no, it'll be less time because the gates are faster. I mean, wormholes are faster.
And,
I'm saying to go across the system right now, the most you spend is 6 minutes. That's the most you spend.
Well, they had to make adjustments, Griff. To put it in perspective, that they understood that it was
make it short, because I don't want people to hear the thing.
They had to bring it in closer so that you weren't spending all your time
quantum
jumping.
Right, that's what I'm saying. 6 minutes is the most.
Yeah, they pulled it in manually.
My thinking is that you have to jump to the.
And you saw an early version of that in the game.
Travel within the jump, and then jump from the endpoint to another point. Your destination is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's what
in system. Then you're right, fastcart. There's another distance that you have to travel.
But that's why you also have multiple wormholes.
Yeah.
But you also have multiple wormholes in systems too. So it all depends. Sometimes it'll be longer, sometimes it'll be shorter.
We have the Carvelex shipping hub.
Yeah, he didn't want you spend. He's like spend an actual time to get that to be in that jump, and then you're spending real time relative to that spacing. They're like,
potentially some missions
we're trolling the system.
So it's going to be a whole play area. Here we go. Come on. So we have quite a few offline communication arrays. I think there's about 6 of them in the map. Is that right? 8. I see 8. And you can go and part of the setup actually in the Crusader setup is pirates have been attacking the area and turning the communication satellites offline, and so the communications have been spotty, and you have to actually go and turn some of them back on, and that will help open up some destinations you can go visit, as well as
this is what they introduced Tessa Bannister.
So there's research satellites that you can use to look for new jump points, and we also have a bunch of service platforms that will allow you to rearm, refuel, and repair. So we have fuel in the game, and also repair and rearming and stuff. So there's a lot to do, and I think I'm actually kind of looking forward to seeing what people do in SC Alpha 2.0 in terms of posted videos on YouTube and Twitch and live stream. I think it'll be pretty cool. One other big change. There we go. All right. The other big change is, I think we've talked about this before, but we're adding a lot more modes. The
making fun of Chris
IFCS,
of the,
the Intelligent Flight Control
flicker.
System. So we basically have 4 modes.
Oh,
Precision maneuvering, which is sort of the low-speed maneuvering, takeoff, landing, or for instance, if you're like close to a space station, or you were mining, or doing stuff that you would need to be precise movements and control it so you don't run into things. SCM, Space Combat Maneuvering, which is the mode that right now that you play in Arena Commander, which is set up for sort of space combat in terms of speeds, G-force stresses. And then there's Super Cruise, which is somewhere between Quantum, which is really fast, and Super Cruise is significantly faster than what you do at SCMs, potentially about 1,000 kilometers per second. Or 1,000 meters per second.
Back on the roadmap, Super Cruise or high speed.
When you're at Super Cruise, it's good for sort of running away, but you can't maneuver nearly as fast, obviously, because the G-forces are heavy. And then, of course, there's Quantum Travel, which we showed at the Gamescom demo, and you'll see tonight. And so those are sort of the 4 levels of travel. Certain levels of them, like Quantum, require fuel. Some things like Super Cruise will require fuel. So you can, there's a lot more you can do, and we need those different variations of speeds in the IFCS because you've got a much bigger play area, there's much more things you can do, and we're slowly starting to bring in the elements that we want in the final game. So having said that, we're now going to show you a demo of working in SC Alpha 2.0, all live like we did last time. Let's play a little bit and sort of kind of see all the things that we've talked about being all together. All right? Take it away, Andy, and I'll talk you through. Okay, so here we are. There's 64 different places you can spawn in.
Listen to the footprints.
Or not your habits, your little sort of cabins.
Oh yeah, they're really.
We're in Frankenstein boots running through the station.
Yeah, the magnetic grab boots. And it was just like, wait a minute, that's too much immersion, man. It's to the point where it's annoying.
And we're on Port Olisar. So I think we're going to head to the atrium.
It sounds like you're walking in a garbage can.
Carrying something heavy.
Now I can deal with this if there's the mechanic where you activate the grab boots, kind of like what the Expanse is dealing or showing us with that series. I can get with that.
You jump through the window. You can still
jump through the window, right? While I walk downstairs, you can jump through the window.
To this day.
Okay, and so when you spawn on the space station, you can go to these different terminals and call up one of your ships.
You notice how they really revised the characters, the avatars that are moving?
They revised every freaking thing we're looking at. Everything here has been revised.
Yeah.
Remember that?
It just shows the refinements and the details.
It tells us what landing pad. How many landing pads do we have on Port Olisar? 10. I think there's 10 landing pads. So you spawn, you have your ship spawn, and they'll stay on that landing pad for a period of time. If you don't claim it after a while, they'll be put back in the hangar, basically. So, let's get our merry band of brothers together and head to the constellation. And the space station is built out.
Yeah, you're
with
right,
access
Lloyd.
to
Back
all
then
the
we were all
four
amazed.
all
Now
the
we
10
look at it like,
landing
no big
pads
deal.
and stuff. So it's built out on a much larger scale than we did
We're
on
jaded.
on demo.
Oh, the spindles don't spin.
Yeah.
Did we go to the wrong door to get
That's
to the
like every
landing
other
pad?
patch, right? They spin and don't spin.
Mm-hmm. They work now. They work all the time. But back then, you're right. They tell them the other way.
Hey, Opsy.
One of our players is taking a Hornet, so we're taking a Hornet, and the other three are going to be on the. So I guess this was on landing pad 2, and then the other guys are on 4, which you can see over here. And if we look over here, we can see the guys walking out on the landing pad over there.
Hey, fastcart, Kimmy. Woo!
All right.
Seeing you Griffin on a stream, she's spinning her fingers.
The constellation is almost done. It'll be done when we ship this. It's missing a few.
When everybody
bits,
was a
but if you take
clone
look,
and looked
it's-
alike. Oh, we lost Kimmy.
Right, beautiful. So, as we said before, the Constellation's had a complete overhaul. It's built up to the quality that the Retaliator is now. Whole extra level of detail.
Envin Aerospace. All systems
We have to wait for
online.
Kimmy to come back.
Scanning landing gear. Raised. Autopilot. Disengaged. Bogey.
I think it before I said that.
There he
And
is.
there he is.
We should cut back into the Constellation.
Is that me?
Yeah, we got you back.
Wow. Okay.
How about a view from inside, too? Would be kind of cool.
We gotta pay the electric bill, brother.
No, I got new internet, man. Upgrade. No, that's not the case. Yeah, I was telling the guys earlier, I did some upgrades as far as network
Okay.
providers.
Now we're gonna head to this
got some things dialed in.
communication
So, lo
satellite
and
converted
behold,
back on,
it
which
just-
has been sort of sabotaged by pirates. There's
Check out the
likely there'll be
struts in the
pirates
front of the
spanning-
ship there. You see them?
Yep, so we're in hyperzone.
struts that they
So you move,
removed.
you move around here a little bit, so it's kind of pretty cool to.
Anti-drive deactivated.
Love the struts. It was a big deal back a couple of years ago.
So here we
Big
are, coming up
controversy.
to the communications satellite.
See those struts in the front I'm talking about?
I don't see it yet, Griff. I'm
Oh, I'm sorry.
the PC is coming
They're
up.
to the left and right.
What ship is it?
Oh, looks like
Constellation.
there's some pirates
yeah.
around here,
Oh,
so we
yeah.
probably should go
Those
find
struts
them.
were
Those
a
two
big
big
deal.
ones. Those two big ones that aren't there anymore.
But you know what?
I know,
though?
it's a surprise.
The controversy, it really started with the Drake when with the cockpit user interface was so high
Yeah, so this is part
that it was
of the
obstructing the view.
SC Alpha 2.0.
And they
so
kind of
there's various areas, so like these are
parlayed
AI
over
pirates
into
who
the
spawn around
constellation,
the communication satellite
and then it was
disabled.
just
Oh, see
it
the
became a
Hornet just go
meme.
past.
oh,
Uh,
and then when we finally got the carrot, it was like, oh yeah, I love the struts, man.
there we go. Should we get in the someone get in the turret?
Scanning. Bogey.
Sitting right there with the guys.
Hey, Sergeant Gamble. Good to see you.
Damn,
Shields charging.
long time no hear from, brother. What's up?
See, they don't pay attention to me. I just started the jam like 10 minutes ago.
I was listening to the thing. I'm sorry.
We don't ignore you, fast car. What are you talking about? That doesn't happen.
Target destroyed. Bogey scanning.
Sergeant Dan. Is this guy in the turret, basically? Yeah, so what, we're finally getting read up on the turret now.
Stop here, and we'll show one other feature, which is allow you can go in and out of EVA in any vehicle,
Gotcha,
including
Sergeant.
single
Good to
seat
see you, though,
fighters.
man.
All right, Sarge.
So.
I remember this. This was a big deal where we would get out of our ship and go inside the comm array.
So we'll head in here to.
What did I tell you about the spoilers?
It's right there in front of us, man. Wait a minute.
You don't know what they're going to go out there to repair the antenna. They don't know what they're doing. They might be going up there to fix the antenna. You have to tell them exactly what's going to happen.
You're talking to chat people who play this game.
There are
man.
new
Come
people
on.
who have not seen this. Let them enjoy the thing like you did the
It's
first
not
time.
a first time
Let
thing,
them
brother.
enjoy
Come
the
on.
thing for the first time.
Yeah, they're gonna. Damn, it's hard to ask about her
We're just
earlier.
revisiting, man. It's not a spoiler. Holy smokes. Not a spoiler?
Timmy's gonna be the one that's telling everyone that Darth Vader.
I know it's like when I say it's like I say I just bought a car.
God.
It's like I bought a car. And my grandpa says, "Yeah, I remember when I bought my first car." I don't need to hear that. Let them experience this video
is a
for
revisit.
themselves.
Hello, 2020, baby.
It's a revisit for you.
2020.
Alright,
Oh
okay.
my
See,
God.
Bluesy said, I actually forgot about
Hey,
Bluesy.
Bluesy,
Look
come
at what
on,
Bluesy
Bluesy.
said. See what Bluesy
Don't
said?
add to don't put fuel to the fire. Don't pump his head up. The hat barely fits, Bluesy.
I'm
Come
speaking
on.
on behalf of the two people in the
That hat
room who
barely
haven't
fits
seen
him,
it.
Bluesy. Don't pump him up.
Hey, Kimmy, did you hear what I said? I'm speaking on behalf of the two people who haven't seen it.
Bluesy, omega 3s, man. You need omega 3s.
There you go, No Romas. Thank you, No Romas. I appreciate that.
Oh, pile up. Okay, it's a pile up.
We've taken on the Constellation that we're going to
07.
We're
07.
gonna
All
have
right.
ship, we'll go ahead and repair.
All right, you got me.
So let's go into the.
But that was good stuff. You're right, Kenny. I remember it was good when we first were able to do this. It was.
07 Ops Chief. They're cutting me deep, man. They're cutting me deep.
At your barbershop. Wow, you backing out. Holy smoke.
I need that kind of speed on my straight.
Yeah, right?
Man, where it went? I forgot that. Shoot, man.
Yeah.
Quantum
Oh, if you
that.
remembered, you would have spoiled it 10 minutes ago, so that's okay. Hey, Quantum has never been this fast, I don't think.
Yeah. Well, they're still all within the system. Within the.
And
That
so
was
this
to a
is one
comma,
of the
right?
many
Remember these?
fuel repair.
You guys remember
and
these?
Stations that will be in
No,
the,
I don't, Griff.
What were these?
Zero.
Cryastros, were they? Cryastros?
Wait a minute, did you just spoil that?
No, I just said, do you remember what they were? I didn't say what it was. I just said, do you remember what they were?
Oh, yeah.
It's already on the screen, coming.
Right.
It's not a spoiler.
You're
There you
right.
Strafe went by like 15 flight miles.
15 model chains ago. Where was I then, nerdy? Damn, 15 model flight models ago? That's ridiculous right there, man.
Yeah.
What are they supposed to be, fuel tanks?
See, that's what's weird. They had a different design on it, it looks like, back then.
I'd never seen this.
Because it's got a different... Take a look at the configuration.
Holy smokes.
Too bad they didn't put that in, huh?
For sure.
There you go. one of the refuel rearm paths.
Yeah, she's smoking in the front, huh?
The new tech in regards to this is you go to the kiosk and just call up kiosk and do the repairs from there, which makes sense.
Landing gear deployed.
You know what? I actually missed this repair mechanic a little bit.
No, we don't need this.
No. That's not what I mean. I'm talking about this right here. I'm talking about this right here. The drones. Because like right now, all you do is hear that sound of
Wait, was that a
refueling,
spoiler?
and that's it. No, he
That
just
was a
said it.
spoiler, Griff.
Okay,
on
I
the
forgot.
screen,
I forgot. I'm ahead of you.
I got
My
lag.
fault. I forgot. I'm ahead of you.
I got lag, but that was a spoiler. He admitted it. Don't even cover
All right,
up for him,
Kimmy.
FC.
All right,
Stop
Kimmy. We
covering
call a
up.
truce. We're gonna call a truce on
They
it.
got
Okay?
busted.
We'll call it a truce on it at this point.
You got busted, Griff.
Okay, I admitted it, Kimmy.
No, it was
We're going
FC
to have a more
was trying
involved
to cover
repair
up for you.
mechanic for players and also for the NPCs when we.
Oh, I see FC.
As Citizen Universe
He likes to
progresses,
stir the
but
pot.
short term, this is the first iteration, which longer term, when you've got a,
Yeah, I do too.
you can earn UEC and persistence, which
So
will
what
be
were you
one
saying
of
about the drones?
next milestones beyond this.
No. I was just
You
saying,
can
like
earn
right
money
now, when you repair on the
doing
pad,
missions,
you
and
know,
then
all
it
you
would
hear
cost
is
you
a
money to
sound,
repair,
and there's no visual
rearm,
indicator.
refuel.
And I was just saying, I do miss the drones coming out and doing it because it was just kind of a cool little thing.
It
You
makes
know
more
what was
sense. Like
cool
how,
about that?
how else are you gonna get your ammo? Where did your ammo come from? Come from the drone.
Okay.
But to where it is now, and hearing Chris talk about that was really cool to hear him say that
we're gonna
the
go
drones
to,
were just placeholders.
Right.
And it was like,
Security
oh,
Port
cool.
Korea, and check that out. This is sort of the kind of dedicated FPS area that we have. And longer term, as we carry on building this out, we're going to have areas that you will have not just AI ships, but AI individuals on foot that you will also have fights with in combat, and meet them and talk to them and do all the rest of the stuff. So as I said, what we're doing here is absolutely the foundation of everything that Star Citizen is going to be.
Love the struts. I know this sounds crazy, right? But I love the Aurora.
Oh, Aurora's cool.
You can keep the Connie. I want the Aurora. I love the Aurora.
It's been cool to see the progression of those ships too. You know what I mean? From the earlier versions of them.
Yeah. The rendering is more realistic. It's more simulated now. This is, in comparison, right, to what we see today. It's cartoonish, and it's still it's great. It's well rendered, but yeah, leagues ahead.
This is like the Mark III, right? On the Connie. Is this the Mark III? Benrick, thank you for the follow.
Yeah.
Eric Burr, 07, thanks for the follow, sir. Quantum is progressed leaps and bounds as well. It looks animated compared to what we have now.
Yeah, this was all amazing.
Right.
5 years ago, right?
And this is the area that will be in the first release that will have sort of weapon drops and stuff. So if you come here, you'll be able to get weapons and stuff that you wouldn't normally have, and then use those to shoot other people if you want. Or defend yourself, either one of the two things.
Chief making a good point. Sound effects have progressed as well.
Oh yeah.
Still looks freaking cool though.
Absolutely. There's a little tight coming in there because that's when that pad was a lot smaller back in the day.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
You're preaching to the choir, man. Why are they so
You gotta
damn
be
cheap on the
careful.
damn hanger
Real
pads,
estate, huh?
man? All this damn space we have, and they cheap on the hangers. Hey, damn.
All right.
So this is Chris. This is Revenge of Chris.
So is this the first version of Korea?
This is
the first version of Korea, right?
one of our merry band that was in the Hornet, and
oh yeah, it's CitizenCon.
No, I'm saying, but this ended up being Korea, is what I'm saying, though, right?
Yeah.
At some point coming out.
Think so?
Yeah, this is where you came in and you did a little FPS and such.
Yeah, because they had the gun lockers, right, and all the stuff that was inside.
Here they come.
Now, people say the graphics have come the wrong way. I agree that the facial graphics and the screen graphics and fidelity and everything look great, but I'm not quite sure about the hair on the characters.
Oh, you make a good point there, fastcart. The hair, we're working on version 3 of hair.
Okay.
They mentioned that.
Yep. Because there's a whole new facial thing that you're introduced to, right? Kimmy, there's a whole
new thing. We're going to do aging now. You guys can get that gray in your beards now.
And look at the door terminal, that old circular one. I completely forgot about that one.
Yeah. Compared to what we have now, man, these graphics are dated, and it's not taking away from what we're seeing. This is really good. I love Miss Hart's haircut. Put it in the game, hopefully.
And I believe there's a data center.
See, the footsteps aren't quite as bad here, but you can still hear it.
Which I think is where we're going.
Funky.
Yeah, footsteps will give you away.
And it's sort of like the command and control
Thank you for the follow, Shipwreck. Appreciate it.
Shipwreck 07.
You'll get missions and stuff. And so the idea is when we have this running, people will hopefully come here and try and control and fight over the area. So, well, there we go.
That's some serious crossfire, huh?
So we have four outlaws that have been playing by the 4 guys over on this side. And there's also some weapon drops around here, so hopefully we can find a few of them.
Thank you, Ilphonic, for setting FPS back a year or 2. Son of a
yeah, they tried. Kid.
Yeah.
It's that Denver weed, man. Those guys were in Denver. They, you know,
I mean, the thing is, without Ilphonic, they may have set them back, but they set them forward at least a little bit.
Yeah.
And there's some recharge stations.
Without Ilphonic, they wouldn't have gotten anything, right?
And various weapon drops around here. Okay, these are the outlaws.
You weren't able to pick up weapons back then, were you? Like if somebody dropped them?
That's a good question.
I know you got them out the rack, but I don't think you could pick them up if they got dropped.
Felix said no.
Yeah.
Hey, did you guys kill all the Marines?
We think we did.
I guess they're gonna steal the Constellation now.
Ooh.
Chris is like, they so disappointed me. I wanted the good guys to win.
Abia, I'm going to try to answer that question very quickly. I prefer the Star Trek universe where humans have evolved into a better space. I don't necessarily like the place where humans are still fighting against each other, if that answers your question.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, for gameplay,
I prefer SC because it has some realism to it in that sense of the conflicts and the intermingling of gray areas between humans and some of the aliens that's going to be in the game. But yeah, I love the gray layers in the game of Star Citizen, and where you're coming upon situations that may, happen based on if you know someone or what their intentions are. That's what I prefer. The randomness.
Kimmy grew up in Starship Troopers. I grew up in Star Trek. That's the difference between us. And I get it to a certain degree.
Wait a minute. Who grew up in Starship Troopers? Who grew up in Starship Troopers?
Did you grow up in 1968 Star Trek?
I grew up
Here we
watching
go.
reruns.
Oh, your reruns. Yeah, I know reruns. I'm talking about grew up in it.
I mean,
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong.
No,
I'm
the
saying I prefer
still
the
had-
universe.
Here we go.
I'm saying I
had an
agree with what
effect.
you. I agree with what you were saying.
This really is a barbershop.
Right. No, I agree with what you're saying. I'm just saying I prefer the universe that is much more where humans have gotten better control of themselves, and the aliens are who we deal with more than in Star Citizen, where we got to contend with humans too. Just like Eve is like that, you know.
Right.
That's all I was saying. I'm not saying nothing against what you were saying. I'm just saying I prefer the more utopia space where you come up under a different space where, like you said, there's a mixture of both. That's all I
These are
was
the
saying.
various destinations you can
Yeah.
see. So
It's
it's going to
logical.
be a huge
For me-
amount of, just even in the first
For me,
drop,
I would
there's
say,
gonna
like,
be a massive
if it
amount
comes
of
from,
places
like,
to
real
visit
life,
in
people
the
prefer
last
Star
world.
Trek universe. Come for
And
gameplay, I would
play.
prefer Star Citizen universe.
So,
Very well said, FC. Very well, because I was going to go back
so we're
there,
pretty
but
excited
thank
by
you for
that. We've
saying
been
that.
sort of playing this,
We
the last
we're
week or
talking
so,
gameplay.
here in the UK.
SCTV
And it's actually
7707.
people
Thank you for the
going,
follow,
shooting each
sir.
other in the face.
Thank you, SC.
Now,
and
now
flying
in
around
gameplay,
Don't make it
I'm
long.
going
Don't
to
make it
prefer
long.
SC
Don't make it
Avia.
long.
You know,
But in real life, I'm definitely on that
to let you guys know that we sort of decided
that cadence of Star Trek
FPS is really integral
and
to
the utopia or
the whole experience.
the whole
And so we're just-
working as
we're-
one
you know,
to
our
achieve
focus is we're
something.
gonna
Oh,
give you
definitely
SC
as far as
Alpha
reality.
2.0 with
Hell
all
yeah.
that. That's actually going to be.
I'm not that crazy.
Don't want to give you dates because everyone gives me shit for giving you dates.
But yeah, gameplay. Oh yeah, you need that drama in Star Citizen. Oh yeah.
So let me say it's in the near future. We're not very far away from being content and functionality complete in that, so I'm pretty confident that that will be in your guys' hands in the near
Real quick,
future.
I hope
In the
for-
near future, I
I
mean,
do too.
I hope for a game
Inside.
based on the experience.
soon. So,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Expanse is
there's
huge,
been a lot of hard
man.
work
I mean, it's
to get all
a
the stuff in
very
there. There's going to be a
compelling,
little bit more hard work
TV
for it.
series. One of
but
my
I think it's going
favorites.
to be a great experience, and I'm really looking forward to seeing everyone fly around and adventure and kind of make their own little stories up, and then we're going to slowly build out from there. A universe. So the other thing that we have here is, since we're just going a little corner of the universe, it's kind of interesting because we want to show you, because we are actually going to build out from that spot
Oh, this
and
is
build out
huge,
the whole
man.
Star Citizen universe. We have the Arc Star map, which we've
Yeah,
talked about
they
for a
announced
while.
this definitely came out within a
And
year.
it's going to start out on our web platform, although it doesn't look like anything you would ever see on a web platform. And the same setup, database, views, shaders, all the rest will also be what's inside the game.
I recommend
your skyline on your Moby
chat
Glass,
to use
your
this.
nav computer,
Look at this. This is
your
really
hollow
cool
nav
tech.
table. Of course, those will have additional navigation and plotting features. But I thought it would be
That's
great
right.
to
Can you
have David
post that in the
Haddock come
chat?
up and
Arc
talk you
format.
through it. So we have David Haddock, our lead writer,
For it now.
Awesome.
David and his team, and
Guys, I recommend
Turbulent
going in there,
and,
dipping into that, and get your feet
Gamerson,
wet
who
on
have
that.
been working with Turbulent in Montreal, have been building this star map, and they've been doing an amazing job. So I'm going to put it over to Dave. He's going to walk you through it. I think you're going to like what you see.
Yes. Hello, Manchester. So Jeff here is going to assist us.
Is this working? Is this on?
In
Sorry?
Is this on? Is it working?
He's
good?
a,
Okay.
So yeah, I
He's
mean,
the,
we've
guy who,
sort of talked in lore a
initiated
lot about a
working
lot of the systems and a lot of the planets that you're going to be visiting, but we've always been
French
a little
development
cagey
company.
about how they all connect together and exactly
David Haddock.
what they are. So this is basically going to be your first look at the Star Citizen universe. So let's take a look.
He wrote
So
some
this
of the
is
movies
exactly
with
where you
Chris
guys
when he
just
did
left.
some
So
of the
this is
movies.
Crusader,
Punisher,
one of the
Number
planets in
11.
Stanton. And if you pan around, you will see that we actually have representations of some of the locations that you were just at. So again, you know, basically what we've been doing is, this is part of the thing we actually mentioned, I believe on one of the 10 for the Writers, about talking with astrophysicists and stuff like that to try and make it as real as possible and use kind of scientific data and stuff like that to make it as believable and yet still awesome and cool and stuff like that. So, so this is a planet, but we're not just doing a planet in this game. So why don't we take a step back?
Do you want me to start by showing off the information wheel, or to go to some of the
Sure.
systems? All right.
So each planet will have basically, each kind of location will have basically what they call the disk here, which will give you planetary information, which you can bring up right there. And also information on some of the landing zones that you'll be able to visit. And also options that we will get to in a second. You can bookmark stuff, obviously.
Actually, why am I so excited about
basically, this is just going to be a way for you guys to immerse
awesome.
yourself
like you said,
in
they've
everything.
been improving
it's
it more and more each
pretty
year.
outstanding.
It's
And
really
you can
nice.
also have routing options, which we'll get into in a second.
I remember when it first came
But
out.
outside of that, you
This
can
is
now
like
see the rest of
a
Stanton's
game
system.
within a game. Like,
So
this
this
is like
is
a
home
game in
to
itself.
the 4
It
corporations
is
that
rough.
have
See,
bought
like,
planets,
on
basically.
Game dev is rough.
And so you have Hurston, ArcCorp, Crusader, and Microtech.
Okay, Griff, you never asked me
Also,
why
you have
why
Celestial
am I so
Bodies.
excited about it.
And for example, and also you have jump points.
Why?
So you can see exactly
Because
where these jump points are in position
we're
to the
talking
planets and
about
stuff like that.
expanding
And again, this is
into
all very,
new,
we're still early on in this
systems.
process, so
The
this
jump
stuff will
points,
shift a little
they
bit as
have
we
to
kind of figure
follow
out gameplay and work with design and stuff like that.
how the star map is actually created or
But one thing real quick, I mean, if we want to show
kind of
sensors,
jump out of that cadence,
if you're traveling through a system, it's helpful to know where to not go.
So
if,
it's kind of a way
you
see
want to
what's the next,
not get
potentially
attacked.
what's the
So
next
we have
system
basically
for
3
them
sensors.
to,
So this one
actually
shows you
create.
population density, so where in the areas in the system that have life forms, basically. The middle one, economy, where do you go if you have stuff you want to sell? And
This
it's
is what I
sort
can't
of
wait till we start
universal
seeing this in
number,
there.
so it can be illegal stuff too. And
Oh yeah,
map.
that's
which
Tony
I'm
Z.
sure none of you are going to do. And this is threat. So crime zones, places that you might want to avoid if you don't want to get into a fight and stuff like that. So as you can see, it is absolutely beautiful. But again, this is one system, and we're talking about
I
a
remember
universe.
there's some
So let's
some
take one more
computers
step
that couldn't
back.
even run the star map. That's how
So there's Stan.
got it. You know, powerful.
It was powerful. At one time when it first came out, I was unable to
that is
run it
everything.
on the smartphone.
Can't do it now.
Oh yeah, oh definitely, without a doubt.
So here
Oh,
you
you
can
can.
see
all the
each
animations
one is
and
marked. We
everything.
have all the various factions, UEE,
But
Bandu,
it goes to
Bandul,
show you that
Xi'an,
how they've been
developing
reiterating
systems
on it
and
and
unclaimed
and
systems, which
improving
are
on the
get
tech.
known as pirate systems. And so yeah, this is basically your map. This is going to be the playground that ultimately
like 5 years
starts
ago, you
Citizen.
could not run this on the tablet or phone.
Now systems are great, but obviously you got to get to them. So
That's a
let's
good
turn on
point,
some jump phones.
Admiral Kusana.
These are small ones.
Kusanagi.
Any small ones
Kusanagi.
can use
I
these,
can't
but
get
anything
that
larger
last one.
can't, unfortunately.
Admiral Q. The Admiral Q.
These are the medium ones, which
they
again,
mentioned
medium
3
ships like the Freelancer can use. And finally,
locations: Shanghai,
the large jump points.
Moscow,
And then when you switch to
and there
2D,
was one more.
New York,
In,
we can see how
was
this
it
all
New
joins
York?
together.
You sure, Griff? I don't think it was New York.
London.
And also super fun, if you mouse over, you can see what jump points are connected to
Oh,
whatever
yeah.
system. So you can get a
Could have
sense
been
of
China.
basically traveling. How do you traverse
I think it
this
was China.
very, very
China,
varied
Shanghai, and Russia.
dangerous and exciting
China is
universe.
Shanghai, isn't it?
So
Shanghai
Well,
is China.
but-
basically,
they-
all of these
they,
systems have descriptions. All of these systems
mentioned
have
the
planets
two
that have been
distinctive-
locked down. So basically, you get to kind of wander around and see what the planets are and stuff like that.
Should we try and plot a journey then?
Why don't we, I think so, yeah. I mean, yeah, let's do it. So yes, in addition to this, which is truly awesome, they've built in a system for planning out routes. So we're going to basically chart a course from Crusader and Stanton
Listen, guys, you think
to go to
whoever-
Earth.
I don't know why
We'll
you
be
don't
able to get
believe
this
me,
in
but it is
our,
New York. It is New York.
Dolby
seriously.
Glass.
And ultimately, this is going to have a bunch of options to it. So
No,
right
I
now
don't.
we're sort of
It's not
working
like
sort of base
discount it. I'm
AU
saying on
distances
this
and stuff like that.
particular
But you'll
reveal
be
in
able to
2015.
decide, you know,
Oh,
if
okay,
you
no, I'm
wanna
just saying
take
the
a
third city you
safer
were
route,
asking about was
if you
New
wanna
York.
take
That's
the
all I was
most
just saying.
fuel-efficient route,
Okay.
or if you want to take the fastest route, you can decide how you want to get to that system. And the thing that we had marked earlier, with the routing options on this individual planets, if you've been attacked 18 times in Pyro and you don't ever want to go to Pyro
missed your
again,
question.
you can mark that system so your routes will avoid it. So it will take you around it, so you don't get attacked for a 19.
Hear me?
Oh, what about the cities? Well, they talked about, well, some of the lore was
All right, so we've got a route. We're deciding, all right, we're going to
they
go take some
initiated
stuff from Crusader
terraforming
to go to
because the
Earth
cities were
and plot it
overcrowded
out.
and they were pretty
So
much
this is our route.
in a
Now,
state of
several ways you can do it. You
rundown.
can kind of step through it a la like a Google Map type
By
thing.
terraforming, they kind
Also,
of
we should show 'em
recovered,
jump point.
and
Yeah, let's take a look
they're
at jump point then.
in a
This
much
is the
better
Magnus to
state than
Ellis
they
jump
are compared to
And you can see this little trail
them
leading off of it.
getting the
In the background, you can see
terraforming
Ellis.
technology.
Yeah, you actually can see where it's pointing.
But it's going to be
towards,
interesting to see
really cool.
what they add in as far as landmarks that we can compare with in real life. So I'm imagining that they've kind of got a prototype of what they want to reveal as to say this location is reminiscent or can be referenced to present day, whatever. But then you're going to probably see things retrofitted with new tech.
So we're trying to figure that stuff out so it becomes, again, kind of as scientifically accurate as we can make it.
2015 RPK.
So this is Killian. This is the
CitizenCon 2015.
Yeah.
Should I just skip us through to Earth now?
Let's do it. Go for it. And this takes us to Earth.
Punch it, Chewie.
Yeah, that would be cool, Admiral. A new version of the
So
Eiffel
with this, you
Tower.
also, like I said, you can scan around. You can see landing zones. So we have the 3: New York, Moscow, and Shanghai marked out, and stuff like that. So again, I mean, this is basically just going to be
New York,
an initial look at everything that is the Star Citizen universe. And yeah, it is super amazing and a lot of fun to play around with. And I really look forward to you guys taking a look at it. And we also just got to say to Benoit, Ken, Scott, Benjamin in LA, Sherry, Adam, Will in Austin, Rob, Jason, Evan, and Tony, and everybody at Turbulent and everybody in CIG. This is big contributing to this.
And the Game Zone team.
And you know, you can debate that Shanghai is probably one of the cities that you would want modeled in Star Citizen, because it's probably one of the most futuristic, cleanest cities in the world.
So enjoy. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you, guys.
Need a cold one.
All right. Back to the presentation. So that's fun. That sort of shows kind of where, you know, we're starting in a little baby corner of it, but we're going to start fleshing out from there.
Oh, yeah. They just added.
Haddock been there since 2012.
From the beginning. He came over with Chris from directing movies.
If you wait for us to finish every single one of those systems, it will be a bit longer than I think everyone wants to wait. All right.
So is that David Haddock,
so
Sherry Heiberg, she's the archivist.
Here, this is something that was one of the
Adam
She's going around
Weezer,
2015, I think, though.
and Will
Brazilian Mile
Weisenbaum.
High Club. So not everyone has it, but some people have this, and they can invite their friends.
Yeah, she's the most recent addition.
Well, you know,
or it could have been between her and Adam Weezer.
Corp, and eventually, when we have more locations, they'll be set around the universe.
But Sherry, man, she's the glue. She puts all of it together.
You got
she archives everything.
We were just talking about this the other day. You guys remember about the Mile High Club?
So don't drink too many of them before you fly, I think. Jukebox.
Yeah.
And you can invite organizations or individual players. You have your trophies. Big aquarium, so it's just like another
did you ever get invited?
Location of real estate you can do, and we're gonna have.
Is it Million High?
Yeah. Has anybody ever invited you?
No, man.
What about
Come
you,
on,
Fast
you
Car?
really?
No. You know, your friends can invite you. If you know somebody who has it, they can invite you in. You can get access.
I'm gonna do the fast card.
Carl Jones up.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering if either of you guys had ever been inside. I never went in. I know some people who had access.
I've only
but I
seen it
never
on
went.
YouTube.
Okay.
No.
And he's a.
Didn't you mention that you snuck in, Griff?
Hello. There it is.
Oh yeah. Here's the thing we want to talk about coming up.
Here you want to click those last 3 slides since you know which ones to go to. There you go.
How many people remember this thing?
So, hi, nice to meet you all. I'm Carl Jones, Chief Operating Officer, and I take care of business development. One of the things I've been handling very closely is our work with our partners, one of which, of course, is SciTech. And I wanted to update you all on the work that's been going on since we showed you the first kind of concept.
I know, right?
So we've been working with the team at SciTech, who I can tell you are as passionate about what they're doing as our team is about building Star Citizen. These
and
are
this
some
is not
really
a
talented guys
big
there,
at
and they really want to deliver the best Star Citizen hostess
They ever introduce another joystick, I am content with my VKB. Let me tell you.
To the early designs.
I'm good.
We've enlarged the size of
The
the
After
initial
got
hostess
wrecked.
that they're going to
Oh,
be.
no.
Oh, tapped him out.
Oh, Astropub, what did you do? Oh my God. He saw that keyboard and flipped out. He saw that keyboard and flipped out.
Pour me a cold one.
Sorry, you tell me.
Don't you show that
It's
yet.
key. Sorry.
As you can see on the diagram there, we have some space for extra buttons. Don't do it.
Paul, I hope you weren't cursing because you were thinking about SciTech making that controller.
No, he typed it all in all caps.
Oh, okay.
Be careful with that Zelix. The T16000 is starting to rear its ugly head. It's having issues, man. So
No, there are
be
people.
aware of that.
There are people who have that thing and have no
here.
problems. Yep, there's some people who have no problems. There are other people who do have problems with it. If he's happy with it, let him be
Yes,
happy with it.
I got caught into that crap storm.
So that throttle can stand by itself.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yep, 5 years ago.
I can show you this one.
Oh, okay. God.
This one.
Terrible.
SciTech bailed, man.
Over this way.
This side.
Sorry.
Chase.
Yeah, it was 5 years, Zelix.
Logitech consumed him.
Okay.
So,
They had to come out with an X56 to cover the X55.
As I explained, you can see.
But all joking aside, I'm glad that CIG is trying to do stuff like that, trying to do merchandise and trying to do promotions.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's good. It's just a shame that they don't always work out.
I think the problem with doing something like this, though, is that the game is so evolving in and of itself that it's almost hard to kind of design something around it until it gets later in its stages. I know this was all prototype, but that's a lot to be putting together at this stage in the game. It was ambitious.
At this stage, they were thinking they were going to be out in a year or two.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah.
We're going to have
and we still don't have proper inputs for our peripherals right now.
Right.
You know.
What we don't have here today, unfortunately, is a mock-up of the high-end.
But look at that thing.
Which will have the OL.
Yeah, it was a game changer, man. It was. I was in on it. I was like, hey, I gotta have that.
And how exactly it's going to work. So after
and the fact that it was modular was different too. You know.
Feedback on the designs. We'll have a lot
but
of questions
knowing
that we want your
what
feedback,
SciTech, what they are now, it's just like,
yeah.
buyer beware.
That's true.
There you go.
I wonder how much that sucker would have cost back then.
Yeah,
that camera
that was the whole thing.
everywhere.
That's the price point.
Yeah.
It pulled in a lot of people. It was in that mid-range area, and that's what.
So less than a Warthog, but more than the
Thanks, Carl.
lower end stuff.
Appreciate it, and I think the guys at SciTech have been doing a pretty amazing job. It's again, I think we said.
Yeah.
Maybe if you had one, you could sell it for like $1,000 as a relic or something. I don't know.
We chose them is that they were really keen to.
Here's my question:
for us.
Did Chris keep the prototype? Does he
you
have
know
it on
they
his
did.
desk now?
You know they
flight
did.
Control and sort of gimbal aiming.
It may not even had any wiring in it, man. That might have just been the casing we saw.
Flying around.
It might be the motors.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah,
good point.
Having a full suite, I think it is cool and it looks awesome, and I can't wait.
No, they didn't auction it. I don't think.
Oh no.
I don't remember.
Yeah, because it wasn't even completely there yet. It was missing a lot of stuff
we're just
still.
Talk about a couple of things. Cross chassis
Hey,
upgrades,
Masso,
I think,
good to see you.
So it just is hopefully going to let people chop and change their
Master
ships. Everyone loves to do
07.
that.
Whole task with LTI.
Spending a lot of time helping everyone out on that. So.
Oh, so this is the introduction of the. Oh my God! This is the beginning of
the
it.
web platform.
7.
And.
LTI whole tab.
Next thing is we have a referral program, which
The golden USB
today. So it's
this is the beginning of the referral. Wow, a whole bunch of came out this year. That year.
All our stuff is word of mouth and viral.
Oh yeah.
I still only have 4 referrals. I want my
Aquarium, man.
Going out there,
Goldfish
telling your
tank.
friends, and so we'd rather sort of make it a more solid part of the platform. So
yeah, Master Cat did 2015.
So we can play that. You can hear Benoit tell you in his own words about the referral program.
And this was, they started this, they only had 25. 25 was the max tier. Later on, they had to add more.
Today with CitizenCon, we are launching the Star Citizen Referral Program. In this community, word of mouth has always been a major force in recruiting new citizens. Now with this program, we hope to reward players who help build this community by referring their friends. The way the program works is simple. Each citizen gets a unique account code. You can find your
I got
code in your
my
RSI
first referral in 3 days. It took me like a year and a half. No, it took me 4 years to get my next referral.
Each citizen has one. You can share your code by simply copying it and posting it online, or by using the social sharing buttons. When your friends sign up with your code, they become your prospects. If they purchase the game, they become your recruit, earning you 1 recruitment point. As you earn more points, you will go up in what we call the recruitment ladder, and earn the relevant form title, badge icons, and rewards for each tier. The ladder does include unique items that can only be obtained in the referral program. You can always track your recruits in your RSI account settings. To make it
so funny how they only thought people were going to be satisfied having 25 max.
For anyone who signs up with a new account and a valid
I think it's up to
code,
1,042 now.
Everyone gets something.
Oh my gosh.
We really want the referral program to be a way to progress without having to spend. Starting from a base Aurora package, you can recruit friends to upgrade to higher end ships and equipment. We start with the first few tiers, but we have
they need to use some referral points when your friends upgrade.
Mechanics and areas.
Oh wow, good point, Griff.
See you guys in the verse.
All right. So,
oh my God, 2017 now.
You guys do already,
that's the high.
You know, we thought it would be appropriate to recognize it, and you know, thank you for. I mean, we wouldn't be almost at 1 million people if it wasn't for all you here in the audience and everyone out there watching this on the live stream. Okay, let's go on. Okay, so we did.
So who was the millionth backer? He said almost 1 million.
So it is the Aegis.
Oh, that was
So you know we have the Aegis Gladius.
That's right.
Saber, it's another kind of sword. And one of the things that we've been wanting to do is because we essentially have sort of one main dogfighting ship in the game right now, which is the Hornet. And pretty much
the base radio.
Everyone flies
Hornets
or Super Hornets. So
got to hang out in 2016.
Serious side of the dogfighting. So we wanted to have a ship that was in the same class that could go toe to toe with it. And
that's some goodies too, man, for being the 1 millionth backer.
In the UK, it'll be something that you'll see around in Squadron 42 and other things as well. And it is a dedicated
I don't think that 2 million got anything. I didn't hear anything about it.
It's like,
know, right? So, you know, Hornet's a brawler. This is kind of a ninja.
Sad but true.
So there's sort of the stats on it. It does have, well, basically 4 S3 guns, which is pretty...
the introduction of the saber.
S2s, or
oh, yeah.
You can put S3s on the wings.
Yeah, his ninja references.
And it's got missile hard points. So it's, I think, going to be pretty cool. And here we go. We're also going to do a military ship sale to kick that off because we're going to show you some Squadron 42 stuff.
I think I bought the.
Kind of put you in the
what did I buy
Squadron
during this sale?
42 mode.
I bought the Retaliator
and I
during this military ship
these
sale.
Ships, selling all this,
oh, wow.
this stuff. You know, you don't need to buy the ship. You can start with an Aurora and work your way through the game. Really, this is a way to support the development and building this incredibly ambitious game. And
you don't need to buy the ships.
You don't need to buy it.
But we will take that cash, baby. We will take that cash.
Yeah, but he says we don't need to spend the money.
Turn it down that.
42. So thank you for doing that. So anyway, there we go. On the next one, military ship sale.
People still buying it, Masterclass.
There you go. Okay, and with 48 hours,
to
celebrate
there we go.
what we're going to show today, the Armada pack, which will include the
oh
Idris.
Boy!
And when you see the Idris a little later on,
Invictus Week, man, they were scooped the hell up.
Understand why the Idris? Yeah, it's a crazy ship. First of all, it's twice as big as we originally thought, and anyway, so you'll get to see it in a little bit. So there you go. And I believe it's $170 for the
right
Saber.
48 hours for the Armada pack back then.
All right, so Now comes the part
looking at my spreadsheet for October 2015.
All right, here is the big piece coming up next, I think.
Oh.
It looks like I got the Super Hornet in 2015.
Yeah, turn it up on this one, man. Turn it up. This still give me goosebumps.
Talks about various things that have happened in Vega, and you know, the beginning of.
Oh, I also got the Concierge Black card.
Takes place right where this attack is.
In 2015, October 2015, in November. I got
Concierge Black card.
I'll show you a video
and I got the Super Hornet that
scene that happens in Squadron 42 in the wake of the attack. So let's put the lights down and let's play the video.
Check this out, guys. This still gives me freaking goosebumps, man. Let's pump this up.
Ladies and gentlemen, this emergency session is called to order. Admiral Bishop, you have the floor.
For 200 years, we have battled the Vandal. We have caught these attacks, raids, or skirmishes or incursions. But I am here to tell you that we are at war. Tiber, Orion, Caliban, Virgil, once human systems are but abandoned in the face of the enemy. The Vandal are at our gates. Weapons bared while we hide and cower. Retreating as they burn and decimate everything around us. We cannot let the tragedy of Vega happen again. We cannot give the Vandal any more ground. To defend this empire, we must attack. And we have to be committed to that attack, whatever the cost may be. We have to rebuild our fleet. We have to use the power of human innovation to reclaim these so-called red systems and strike back at the enemy. This will not be an easy fight. It will cost us resources and credits and lives. Well, some of you may be asking why undertake such a thing, and I can tell you in one word. Victory. For if there's one thing the Vandal has taught us, it's that without victory, there can be no survival.
Man, these gave me chills the first time about being saw it. Especially these names.
Yeah, get all the stellar names that come
Emily.
along.
You player one? Hello? Game of Thrones.
Right, Felix? And this is only like the introduction of names. Like IMDb has a whole bunch more now.
Yeah.
Henry Cavill, baby.
Yep. So
oh, put a year on it. 2016.
2016. Yeah, that was the downfall. Because we went in 2016, we thought we were going to see it.
So, as you know, I spent a fair amount of time here in London shooting the performance capture. That's obviously the result of part of it. I have to say that it's an incredible privilege working with people like Gary Oldman and the rest of the cast that we had, because I think they're going to bring a whole nother level of emotion and performance to the game. One thing that we thought would be interesting, because we, like everything we're trying to do here on Star Citizen, we're really trying to push the technology. So that scene is 100% CryEngine, running inside CryEngine real time. So we've pushed the faces, I would say probably Rise was the best real-time sort of face tech.
They did, man. So they did show one where they did the improvements to the animation.
So
you're right.
If I go here, so we're gonna run you a little video that sort
Almost
of
like
shows
the
technical
segment.
Good to see you.
process of it, and then I'm going to start to talk a little bit about Squadron 42.
Find it up
So
and
let's run
you can post
video.
it.
Yeah,
First,
I think it was on one of the
what
shows
went
more than
together
an
to
actual
deliver that.
recut of the whole thing.
Yes.
I've seen so many shows, I don't recall that one.
Liquid
I
Chaos,
believe you. I
thank
just
you
don't
for the
recall it.
follow. Thank you for the
Liquid
follow.
Chaos
I'm the
X70207. Thank you for the
We've
follow.
been working on our characters and more specifically the facial aspect of this project for quite some time, so we're excited to finally reveal this to you. Here you can see Gary Oldman, Admiral Bishop, making his speech at the Senate. In terms of technology, we've
There was
built
one of
upon the
their
already robust
development
systems
shows
provided
where
by
they
the
did
Grind,
the Gary
and have taken them a
Oldman
step further
piece.
to really
And
push
one of the
boundaries
actors,
of what's
female
possible in
actors,
real-time
where they
animation.
showed
The high-fidelity work that you're
in
seeing
the
on the
blood
facial
vessels.
skeleton,
They were talking
rig,
about
and
how the
asset
blood
was done by
vessels.
3 Lateral.
Scuba
It really
Steve!
makes all of this possible.
Thank you for the host,
The
buddy.
animations
Thanks for the
you're
host,
seeing are
sir.
made with an incredible attention to detail by Cubic Motion.
My name is Vladimir Mastilovic, and I'm leading Trilateral Studio. We start our process with high-resolution scan data. These are scans of individually activated
This is the
facial
segment
muscles.
I was mentioning.
And basically each scan
We really
is
see the
consisted
blood
of several
vessels in
million
the
triangles.
skin, and it's like, wow.
This is a data set that cannot go efficiently in the engine. And each scan is a snapshot in time.
And this
it
is what
doesn't
they
have
call the
any
tier
correlation
0, or is it
with
tier
any other
1?
scan. This is why we have written a tool that will analyze the surface of the skin and will find correspondences between each scan.
That
Through this
freaks me
process,
out every
we're
time I
finding
see that.
hundreds of thousands of
Yeah.
correspondence points between each scan pair. And
No
this enables
bones,
us
man. No bones about
to
it.
use blend shapes on any custom topology for these scans.
Moisturize
Scans are
me.
then handled by our artists who are examining for any unwanted motion, and they are putting it in
Hopefully they don't get any
context
ideas to make a creature
and
like that.
modeling a constillation
Hmm.
of hundreds of shapes
Probably.
that
It's really
will
easy to
then
do,
be used
evidently.
to produce a facial rig,
There it is.
which is essentially
Wow.
a digital puppet of the character, which can then be animated and transferred to a game engine as an optimized data set. When it comes to photoreal characters, everything is important. Not only that character
I remember
itself
watching
needs to
this
look correct
and
in
thinking
terms of
this
its
will
shape
tell my
and its
PC
texture,
when I play
it
it.
also needs to look correct when it's animated. This also needs to extend to micro level, so that skin stretching and the pore stretching
It's why
Thanks
we
for
need
stopping
all
in,
that
man. So
foundational
take care,
tech.
buddy.
layer of fluid between the eyelid and the eyeball behaves correctly so that it maintains the illusion of a
I'm
live
sorry, I had
character in the
the
scene.
volume too high. What do you say?
Essential for doing this on
No, I just
such
told
high
Mazel,
volume
thanks for
project
stopping in.
is not only
Appreciate
having
it,
a large
Mazel.
team, but also having proper production tools. Essential also to solving this problem are our production partners, Cubic Motion.
At Cubic Motion, we're responsible for accurately recreating the actors' performances using the face rig designed by Trilateral. Stage 1 of the Cubic Motion facial animation process involves analysing the actor's performance. So that means tracking hundreds of points on the face, covering all the main facial features, such as eyes, inner lips, teeth, and skin creases.
Wow.
In addition to that, we capture texture information from the video, and that gives us this extra level of fidelity in the data. After we have analysed the performance, we move
So
on
random
to stage
question,
2
just for the
in
class.
process.
How
And
many
this
views do you
means
think
solving
the Senate
data
Bishop
to the
Beach
CG character's
has?
face rig?
Just-
Every rig
just a
control has its own
broadcast.
measure within the solver. And each of these
I have
measures
no
looks
idea.
at very specific regions of the
Crazy
face
number.
and how those regions move.
No,
relative
not
to
quite.
another
Oh, okay.
region. We can combine multiple measures, and what this means is
Okay,
that we
put it
can then
different.
accurately
This Star
recreate
Citizen
realistic
presentation
facial motion, like
has
when you speak or when you emote.
71,000,
examples of a
almost
solver in
2,000
action.
views.
Firstly, we've got a funneling mouth shape, And this shape is essential for facial animation and lip sync.
So the question is,
Second
how many
example
views do you think that Bishop
nuance that we can
have
So
on the
if you look
Star
in this
Citizen
demo video,
channel?
what you can see a very
The
small
speech, how many
eye
views it got,
twitches
that
are
speech?
happening under the actor's skin.
Probably in the hundreds,
You can
1,000.
see then
Probably a
inside
million.
of Maya that the solver has captured these and
No,
then
it wasn't that
transferred
much.
the
How
data
much?
across to the relevant controls.
627,801.
Once we have solved
Wow.
the data to
Half
all
million.
of the facial rig controls,
I thought it'd
we
be
can
higher
then
than that,
finalize
but
the
I'm
animation
surprised it's that
and then
low.
pass that data
Well, it's just
across
that's
to
it's
Cloud
just
Imperium,
that speech by
and they can
itself.
integrate
The
it
question:
into
how
the
many views does this
Faces in
particular
Star Citizen utilize a
CitizenCon had?
combination of both blend shapes and bones to
Oh, this
combine all the techniques
CitizenCon
available
has
to us for real-time
almost
rendering.
72,000
If I
views.
enable a debug overlay,
You got to
you'll
look
see
at the
a
time
color-coded
of day
wireframe
when
that
they
indicates
actually
how many
got
bone
the
influences there are
CitizenCon.
preferred. This is
when
important
they
as it
did the
gives us smoother
presentation
and
over
more
in
realistic
UK.
deformation. Recent updates to our
I'm wondering
technology
if
allow
timing
us to
had a lot
compute
to
this
do
on the
with it.
GPU, which means better
Time of day.
performance and even more characters using it. At the same time, blend shapes are driven by the animation. Bishop uses over 400 of these
Well,
blend
if I
shapes to
remember
accurately
correctly,
convey
I
the
had to
actor's
I had to get up
performance.
early
We
in the
also use
morning to
these
watch
shapes
the
to apply the
CitizenCon
tangents
show.
to the mesh.
Yeah, this was
Machine is
yeah,
updated
this was UK
accurately as
time.
these shapes are blended
Admiral
in between.
Lulz, thank you for
One
the
more
follow.
obvious
We
addition is
appreciate it.
comprehensive
Admiral
support for
Lulz,
animated
what's
diffuse,
going on,
also called
dude?
blood
How
flow
you
maps,
doing?
as well as animated wrinkles. When used together, this yields a whole new level of facial performance. You can see when I toggle the feature, the change is dramatic. There are even more subtle uses, such as making the lips lighter when they stretch
Thank you,
or
Boogie.
darker
Thanks
when
for
they
stopping
purse.
in. I'm sorry if
Where
we missed you,
previous
buddy.
games on the CryEngine used a single wrinkle map texture, we have extended this to use 1, 2, or even 3 wrinkle and blood flow maps. This ends up giving us 44 different areas on the face to blend in diffuse and normals, making unique wrinkles and expressions as accurate as possible. You can get an idea of the complexity of this system through this debug view.
I
where
was-
white highlights
I was
indicate the
really-
blend areas and their relative intensities.
I couldn't take
We've
my
made
eyes
other
away
subtle
from this when I
improvements to
first
add
saw
a bit
this. 'Cause
more
this
life
is
to
really,
our eyes. One such improvement is dynamic pupil adaptation,
Very
which causes the
detailed.
pupils to actually react to the changes in lighting.
like stuff
The
like this, the
animation for an
dynamic
asset of
people
such
adapting,
quality can
that
be
blew
heavy.
me away.
Animating 200 bones and over 400 blend shape creates an enormous amount of data. We compress this on the way into the engine down from hundreds of megabytes to just a few. We do this compression very carefully as Cubic Motion has provided highly accurate and specific animation data of the actor's performance. This performance must be retained when coming into the engine. The facial pipeline within Star Citizen is well on its way, and as you can see, the characters push beyond where other projects and technologies have gone before. We are committed to delivering the most lifelike characters possible to enhance your immersion in the Star Citizen universe.
So that's just one example of the level of fidelity that we're pushing for. I mean, I think it goes without saying, I wasn't thinking that I would be able to do that when I launched the crowdfunding campaign in 2012. But as I made a pledge quite a few years ago when I said we kept on raising money, I said I'm going to take the money we raise and I'm going to put it back into the project, and we're going to make the project bigger and better, which is true for Squadron 42 and true for Star Citizen. And so the level of the cast, the technology we're pushing for the characters to put you in the story, and just generally everything we're doing in both Star Citizen and Squadron 42 is reflective of that. So, you know, just to talk a little bit about Squadron 42, you know, I would put it up next, just as a standalone project, next to any AAA, big publisher, big budget game. I'm 100% confident that it can go toe-to-toe with any of those games and, you know, come out on top. Or if you like space games, that is. So, you know, the original pitch when I started this, I didn't think we'd have the money, was I was going to do something very similar to Wing Commander, which was some missions flying around in space, and then when you were back on your ship, you would have a couple of limited options of who you would talk to and go around, which was sort of the Wing Commander 1 and 2 model. Wing Commander 3 and 4 had live action, but essentially it was the same format. But you know, since we've pushed our Citizen and the tech forward, since we've raised more money, the whole Squadron 42 design has gone beyond that setup. So it's a combination of flight, on the ground, combat, talking, interacting with characters, all in one seamless setting and environment, all from first person at that level of fidelity.
I
think it's going to be the most immersive of all the story games I've ever done. So I'm, Dave was the lead writer on the script. Will also in LA, they wrote it together.
Away from firm
it's a fantastic script. I think I'm going to do I won't show that just yet, Dave, when we get to the next time. But I really, I think you'll get to know the characters in the story in a way that you wouldn't have done in the past, because we're letting you go anywhere you want on the ship and interact with who you want.
Mr. Tofu, thank you for the
The
follow.
goal is to have performance and sort of facial fidelity that is on the level of what we have with Gary Oldman. Outside of that, because we've got the large world, we're setting Squadron 42 in a large world environment. So we're making it not just linear missions. It's also sort of sandboxy, where you'll have optional missions you can do besides the narrative for the story. So there's going to be a vast amount of gameplay. I mean, we're very confident. So go to the be a lot more content than any of my past Wing Commanders and what we were originally thinking in the beginning. So just to give you an idea, we're going to have about over 10 hours of final performance capture. I think we did about 120 hours or so of the shoot, but of course you edit that down. It's about 10 hours of final. So to give you an idea, Wing Commander 3 had about 3 hours and 17 minutes. And Wing Commander 4 had about 4 hours and 13 minutes.
How much did this change since 2015?
Over twice
It must have more
the amount
performance
of scenes
by now.
and performance that you had in Wing Commander 4.
Look at the figure, how he's holding the gun.
Using the
It's
pipeline
nothing
that we
like
just
that.
showed. I'm going to show you something in a little bit, which is earlier, much more work in progress. But the Gary Oldman he's the sort of gold standard. So all the main cast are done to his fidelity level. And then the secondary cast are just a slight tad below them, but they have most of the same features. So they're going to have animated diffuse and all the wrinkle maps and stuff like that. So we have this sort of dynamic conversation and reputation system. It's also a system that we will take across and use inside the Persistent universe. And we're doing some stuff for Star Citizen that leverages off this that will allow you not only to sort of do sort of missions that other people give you or other AI, but also have sort of story missions and more kind of adventure interactions in the Persistent universe. And that will kind of come out of the story conversation system we're doing for Squadron 42. I think one of the big keys was, one of the reasons why we have about 10 hours of scenes, which is obviously a lot more than you would have in any kind of movie, is normally in a film, you just stay with the main characters and the main action. But since this is your experience, we don't know what you're going to do. We don't know who you're going to choose to talk to, what you're going to do aboard the ship. So we went and actually spent time with every one of the secondary characters, and they have their own stories, and they have, they can tell you about their hopes and dreams, and they all have arcs. And so the idea from an emotional standpoint is that you hopefully, as a player, will sort of pick and choose who you want to interact with, who you like, who you'll talk with, and then when things happen in the story of Squadron 42, because obviously it's a fairly boring story if nothing happens, things happen to people, you'll actually have more of an emotional connection than you would traditionally do in a game, because we're allowing you to sort of pick and choose who you're going to interact and sort of spend time with. So I think that's going to be pretty good, and you can sort of define who you are through your actions and interactions. So I'm going to show you a little video of kind of just a shoot for the behind the scenes to sort of set up what we will demo right after this. So here we go. Oops, go back on that.
Oh, there they go, to Andy Serkis.
There he is, the man himself. Tully.
So motion capture is just the body, like the head position, but it's not the facial, not the performance. So all the stuff that we're shooting on performance capture is all the performance in Squadron 42. So the dramatic scenes, people's dialogue, and so we capture their emotions and you know, what they're saying and what's happening on their face to map it all onto their sort of digital alter egos inside the world of Squadron 42. And we'll be doing that here in the Imaginarium stage at Ealing Studios for the next 3 months.
My name is Ian Duncan, and I'm playing the player. So everything's from my point of view, and all the interactions that every character has, it's with my character.
I'm trying to talk over this, but I wouldn't be surprised if they have a female player too.
No, I'm getting markers on my body and a camera on my head.
Yes. We wear the cameras and headgear so it captures the performance.
Regular everyday at work.
We've got this helmet on our heads that actually films every little close-up. I mean, you can't really get much closer than this. It's going to pick up every single feature of ours.
All those other many cameras and gizmos capture the physicality.
I don't know, 50, 60 or so cameras. I'm just making up a number there. I did mocap last time 5 years ago, and it's already evolved.
I think I look pretty sexy. And that's why I'm here. Oh, thanks. Scan down. Just to check. That's the money shot.
Because everyone looks very odd.
And
like, you know,
they're jumping all over the place.
Suits that don't leave much to the imagination.
You feel very self-conscious, but the trick is obviously to lose that self-consciousness and just kind of be yourself within the space and play the character within the space.
A bit like being in a theatre workshop.
It's all in your mind.
Home to the famous Squadron 42.
Yeah, it's like make-believe.
Yeah, it's like being 5 again.
Yeah, it's like being 5 again.
Whoa! Mental, physical training's been pretty intense.
I was a side tech
Sat and had a cup of tea this morning and then came here.
So you have to go through a series of 90+ expressions, ranging from frowning, smiling, looking up, looking down, left, right. And the combination of all those things mean that they can then control the way that you look digitally.
First time you do it, it can feel very weird. It's quite a test. I love it. I feel very at home here.
From what I gather, Chris is a bit of the sort of George Lucas of this stuff, really putting you in the game in a way that we don't have right now, where you have emotional connections with characters.
Gimli,
The
Lord
old
of the
days
Rings.
when I did Wing Commander, I felt like we sort of advanced sort of cinematic storytelling in games back then, and I think, you know, our cast is something that you would have in a movie, definitely, in a way that you don't normally see in games, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
He's kind of the charming, famous one.
What took you guys so long? You almost missed all the fun.
I want you to hear this. Sit down.
We had Liam Cunningham this morning, who's playing Captain White. I think Bishop's going to be a great character. Gary's awesome to work with, and you know, he's bringing a lot of nuances to it.
Some of you may be asking why undertake such a thing. I can tell you in one word. Victory!
Kid, you better be on your way.
A little bit starstruck.
It's like an extra. Oh wow, they look so nerdy.
Squadron 42 is a must.
EVA
play.
back to your ship.
Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, we were going through a list of actresses that we thought would be believable as Gary's daughter. Gillian was my top choice. We'll handle it exactly the way you did on the X-Files. She's great. She's tough. She's awesome. She definitely holds her own. We got Harry Treadaway, who's amazing.
I think we're getting drunk before we even start work, so it's a good day at work.
Oh, this is Space Whiskey. It's 5,000 euros. Yeah, single malt. Just been a really joyous experience.
Yeah, I mean, working with all the A-listers was just amazing.
I think the
fact that I
storylines,
got
you
to be
figure that
every
some
single
people are going to be lost in the story. We're going to lose them, and it's going to be felt.
Kick other games in the ass.
The message to fans would be that thank you for enabling us to do something at this level. What we shot here was way beyond what initially I thought I would be able to do. So I know it's hard to wait. Trust me, it'll be something that
it's hard to wait.
I think you'll be glad that you supported. Thank you so much, guys.
It's been a pleasure.
I'm pretty excited to see it sort of come alive.
That'd be a cracker. Yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be cool from our film.
Hey, Dave, you want to bring up the scripts? We thought it should be a good, like a good prop. We didn't actually print everything out because we don't want to waste all the paper. but I wanted to sort of show you the difference between. Okay, so this is Outland. This actually is Outlander script, but it's 116 pages. So this is like a normal film script you normally shoot, and then you know, this is essentially what Wing 3 was, Heart of the Tiger. As you can see, it's a lot thicker because you have obviously a lot more.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't someone state
and then
that?
this was
but they're not
Wing
supposed
4,
to?
which was a little longer than Wing 3, but not significantly. I think it was about 411 pages versus 324. And then that's what we shot for Squadron 42. And that's all enabled by you guys. So I don't know if I could do the like that. Bam. So, sorry, Dave, I should have said that.
That's great.
David
had it.
So there's going to be a massive amount of game.
Imagine,
which
Haddock is working on
obviously why it's
Squadron
going to take a little longer
42,
than we
and he's
originally
working
thought,
on
but
the
I think
lore
it will be
of
worth
the
the
persistent
wait
universe.
because you know, we've got an incredibly talented team here in the UK. They are leading Squadron 42, and anyway, I'm always blown away by the work and the attention to detail. I think you've seen a lot of it, like in the Gladius and the Retaliator. The UK team has been doing an amazing job in Squadron 42. Is sort of one of their main missions. They're also helping out on most of the other parts of the game, including sort of Star Citizen, SC Alpha 2.0, and the FPS side. So what we thought we would do here is we're going to show an early part of Squadron 42 where you first transfer onto your first posting, which is Idris Corvette. A frigate, sorry. I'm back. Idris frigate. I know, we upgraded it. Went from like whatever it was, 100 and something meters to 250. It's quite big, as you'll see. And this is actually where you first arrive on the ship. This is all running in real time in the engine. There's a few performance issues. Also, I want to call out that the characters, so what you saw with Gary Oldman is where it's going to be at with the main characters, and the secondary characters will be fairly close to that. So what we have here is sort of some of the characters, but they're not finished off. They don't have all the diffuse maps. They don't have you know, some of the love that Gary had, because Gary was sort of our proof of concept to push it. But it's to show you interacting, moving around, some of the concepts of the conversation stuff. There will be some glitches and stuff. This is the thing that started us a little late, that we had a break with the build, and so that's why we rushed here a little late, and that's why we didn't exactly start on time. But I think it will give you a good idea of what it's going to feel like just being part of Squadron 42, being on a ship. You know, for me, it'll be a whole nother level beyond what you've been able to do in Wing Commander. You'll be able to wander around, talk, make friends, do what you like. And the actors that you've seen that we were performance capturing, you know, we do the full 3D scan of their faces, bring it into the game, capture their performances, and instead of watching something passively like you would have done in Wing 3 or Wing 4, you're actually there in the scene, talking to them, moving around them, and they will react to you. So the last bit of caveat is that, you know, we have a whole bunch of next stage sort of AI in terms of what we call subsumption. I think we've talked about having their own sort of schedules. There's some very rudimentary beginning bits in here, but it's nowhere close to where it's going to be when it's finished. Also in terms of them reacting or tracking you, there's some technology that we're still working on that isn't in here that will make that much better and lifelike. So this is imagine this is a sort of very first stage, and we'll be a lot closer in terms of the fidelity to what you saw with Gary. Not quite to the Gary fidelity all the time, because obviously that's a dedicated cinematic scene, but that's kind of the quality. All the Tier 0 characters, so like Mark Hamill, Mark Strong, you know, all the casts we mentioned there are what we call Tier 0, and they're the ones that have the 40,000 polygon faces with 3 sets of wrinkle maps and diffuse maps, and so that's the Gary level. Then the Tier 1 characters have 2 sets of wrinkle maps and diffuse maps, and their faces are like 10 or 12,000 polys. But they look pretty good. I mean, so to give you an idea, the Rise faces were about 10,000 faces or something, and they didn't have the extra set of wrinkle maps or the diffuse map. The diffuse map's what happens when you scrunch and your face gets more red and stuff like that. And so that actually will make a big difference for some of the stuff that I even show here, because if you're, say, pale skin, that makes a bigger difference than if you're dark skin. Having said that, let's show the Murrow tour. So you ready, Liam, back here? Okay, here we go. And I will warn you, there are some dialogue sync issues in a part of this, but here we go, let's watch it.
Oh, this is a beautiful shot. Kusanagi, send me the link in Discord.
85 to Stanton. 85 to Stanton.
What's cool is Invictus Week did that with the javelin. Added to it.
There's a chance to see the Argo too, right there. Those of you who bought your Argo personnel carriers or Argo cargo, there you go.
I'm hoping, like, once we really get this in game for Idris owners, I would love for them to have those space docks above the planet that they hail from, and they would take the Argo up. They would spawn that from their hangar planet side, and then go up to the space dock with the Argo or a similar ship
You must be the new
to
pilot.
board their Idris.
Jeez, they really got you jammed in here, huh? Welcome to the stand.
I would love that
I'm Eugene
immersion.
Morrow, Chief Engineer.
What's the number on that one?
This one's ID 523R6.
Okay, got it.
Excuse me, sir.
Seriously, Morrow? I'll tell you when we find your converters. You? Lieutenant Commander Kelly wants you to report to the briefing room?
Jeez, Webb. That's how you welcome someone aboard. You're not even going to introduce yourself.
I'm Petty Officer Webster, Chief Mechanic. You should go to the briefing room.
You're hopeless,
I'm
Webb.
busy.
I'm heading to engineering. I can give you the tour.
He has a map. They'll be fine.
Tour sounds great. Great! It'll only take 2 seconds. I'll wait for you by the stairs.
All good.
Body'll last longer in heater. Old man hated heater. Question is, will they last longer in mobile?
Well, standard that.
This is essentially downtime in Squadron 42, and how you get about and get to know your NPCs or your crewmates.
Give me spoilers, don't you? I love how
Okay,
the
fast car. I'll let you have that.
I love how the ship made the Air Force build.
The acoustics are
Zero like
spot
that.
on too.
I was doing for the first time last week. The only person I ever see her hang out with is Kelly, and I'm pretty sure all they talk about is work. Anyway.
Even here 5 years ago, the Idris looked gorgeous inside.
Oh, yeah. Then we, the next
Get
time
that
we see
sense
it,
of volume.
probably, you know, this year in Victor's Week.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen it a few times, but I think we've only seen it one time since then.
But I mean, I'm sure they've enhanced it even more. We saw it in the vertical slice, remember, and it looked much even more detailed than this.
This is flight control, and this gentleman here is the one and only flight operator, Aaron Sito.
It has that film blur to it right now.
I'm sure you'll hear this all day, but welcome aboard the Stanton.
This particular version.
I'm going to be the voice in your head while you're flying. Don't you worry, though. I'll be gentle. Oh, did you hear about Claude?
Can you know what? I'm looking at his console. Can you imagine making those UI stations workable in the Idris? Oh my God! I just had a aha moment right now. How many do you have to go through and make them playable, and you can interact with?
Zito's great, but a bit of a gossip. Don't tell him anything you don't want the whole crew to know. Rumour has it that's why his ex left. But he's probably better off. Told me she had a gambling problem.
You seen Luther since you got back?
People telling people's business on ship, man.
Yeah, Morrow was the gossip, the ship gossip.
Oh my God.
But that's why he's there, to get all that insider info.
After each mission, right? You get the scoop. What's going on? Oh, so-and-so's not no longer with us.
They're probably going to do missions that way.
Yeah.
Top. Prepare yourself, my son. This.
And here's the mess hall. Hey everyone, this is a new.
But isn't this the potential of what we're seeing as far as how the NPCs will interact with us in the persistent universe? Isn't this what they're trying to achieve?
Never try the lamb, no matter what anyone tells you.
Zealy says, I want the mop, guys. Get the backstory in.
There you are. Did you get the converters? White wants an ETA on that relay.
Right. Might need you to grab them from
So we're seeing female characters here, but we don't really see them in the persistent universe until 2018 or 2019.
Yeah, 2019.
The rigging aspect, fastcart.
I'll go speak to her.
You're the best.
Yeah, but I think he's just saying the fact that they existed here.
Remind me to tell you about Claude.
It's like on an NPC level, for the player level we get it, but even on the NPC level, we're walking around in a very male-driven warp system.
Yeah. Keeps us engineers busy.
So it's amazing that they had,
It had to do with interaction of the equipment too. They had to resize things.
Yeah, but it's amazing that they had actual female characters back in 2015, but Miss Hart said even now it's limited.
His first assignment was on a Stanton.
You're right, Miss Hart's supposed to be more women than men, right?
Miss Hart's got it in.
As you can see,
I will not argue with the lady.
By the way, just so you guys will know, we're going to be having Miss Hartz on the show to talk about women in gaming pretty soon. So keep your eyes open for that, because she's going to have a lot of good stuff to share.
Very nice.
40-60? Okay, that's fair enough. I'm assuming the 60 is women, right? Because that's what guys would like to have.
No, she said women to men.
The verse show. Watched her.
She said 40% women.
I know. I was teasing her. I was saying I think the guys would rather have it the other way around. See, look at Boku.
I'm not going there, all right, guys. I'm right here. I'm not saying a word. I'm right here, man. I'm watching. I'm with you guys.
Boku says women run the world, so hey, let them all come.
I mean, even in this game, I believe Gillian Anderson is going to have a high-ranking role in this game.
Isn't she a captain?
I forget.
She's captain. If you get some time.
So, well, let's show the engine room here if we can. That'd be kind of cool. That's actually it.
I think we're going to be best friends.
You don't want to hear that when you sign on somebody's ship.
By the way, if you haven't figured it out, Morrow's the gossip aboard the ship. So this is sort of the level of attention to detail inside the Idris, which also is, by the way, the Idris everyone will fly in the persistent universe. And this has been built by Nathan Disley and his team at Squadron.
I love what they do with the engineering rooms. They look so good.
So a whole bunch of really talented vehicle artists have all been working, building Beatrice.
As you guys were saying it, I was thinking, man, in Squadron 42, situation happens where you got to abandon ship, all hell breaks out, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm lost.
You're gonna make me put money into this subscription to get my own emote.
Hey, there's gonna be enough clown cars out there. We don't need that.
At ease.
I don't even think Kimmy's seen that people have been putting his face up.
Yeah, I've been watching. Yeah. I am not gonna. I did not want to respond.
People
Thank
like
you, Griff.
you. Well, people like you.
Oh my god.
That's like flattery if somebody puts your face up.
Oh my god.
Sealed in 2870.
Yeah, Kimmy gonna be the new high.
She served with the 351st Battle Group for almost 6 decades before transferring to the 87th.
All right, get me back for saying clown car.
10 years ago. In our last 2 assignments, we've gone from rescue and disaster relief in Ferron to perimeter sweeps along the Jean front.
Admiral
We handle all sorts of
Kusanagi.
forces. All
Captain is
sorts
a
of
carrier
situations.
commander in the Navy, similar to a colonel in the
And
Army
some
and Air
people have
Force.
got big dreams of thrashing
Oh,
Jewel out with Bishop, and think a post like this isn't worth their time. That this is a joke.
It was Sandy, right?
So I tell every
No, that's Rona Mitra.
transfer
I
only
caught the
once.
accent.
We may be a small crew, but the work we do matters. And if you don't respect that,
He played in
I'll make sure you
one of the
spend your
underworlds.
career
He was a
scrubbing decks in the darkest
vampire
corner of the Empire.
who was in love with the male, the Lycan, the werewolf.
Let's not keep the captain waiting.
She had a number of roles. You can look up on
Oh yeah, she had
IMDb.
quite a few
Right.
movies
So,
under her belt.
So
She was in a TV series,
that's
Strike Back.
actually a very small part of the like when you first land. There's actually quite a few more vignettes that happen along that tour. This is sort of the
Yeah, you gotta watch out for those
we use the
symbols.
tour as to
Kusanagi.
develop all the sort of AI and put the characters in. Just to let you know, we don't have none of the hair was final. Most of those faces aren't even close to final. We have him in to work with the stuff. It's going to be a whole nother level beyond that. So, for instance, Executive Officer Kelly, who's talking to you at the end, played by Rona Mitra, is a tier 0 character. So she will be completed to the level that you saw Gary Oldman in the cinematic we've done.
Tier 0. There we go.
So it will go much further. We just did this
He's a
is
singer.
the stuff that we had at the stage of
Yeah, I would have
development,
told you
because once
sooner,
we finished shooting,
Kimmy,
had
but I
it
didn't want to
rigged, and
spoil it.
trilateral work on it and cubic work on it. It's a very long process for them to deliver that kind of quality. But we wanted to get it in. We wanted to sort
And
of
she
show
did the
you
voice
guys
of Tomb
kinda
Raider,
where it's going to go.
Eidos
It's
Interactive.
going to look
Eidos.
much better. There's a lot of like details of how the AI works, and there's some procedural like looking around and tracking stuff that isn't in right now that can take, as you saw like when they were showing the tech video on the puppet, the face puppet, you can move the head around and it'll all work properly. So there's some level of kind of AI sort of real-time rig manipulation that isn't in yet that will allow those characters to sort of track you. So if you walk around them, they'll turn their heads and look at you and be much more realistic. And every one of the characters has a whole set of conversations they have that are not necessarily targeted to any one part of the story. So if you go up, you can talk to them, they'll have personal stories, and all performance captured to the level that we've done it. That's why the shoot was a 66-day shoot. I think I've mentioned in the past that's longer than any film that I've done. That's basically big movie shoot length, and it was to get all that material to get it in there. So I think it's going to make, in terms of being immersed in a story, it's I think going to be pretty amazing. It's going to take a little longer than we'd originally thought, but I think it's worth it to give the guys here in the UK the time to make it and do it right, because I think it will be very special.
There you go, Chris.
And
Just a little
from my
longer.
standpoint, there's a lot of people here that played Wing Commander a long time ago. It's 25 years ago. And
30 years ago now.
That stood the test of time, and I really feel that the stuff that we're doing here for Star Citizen and Squadron 42 can be that, and to do that, you can't accept anything that's anything less than the best. So that's what we're working for. Here we go. So. I think the last one, we have the website's gone live now. So game features, character biography, and game footage. I think, ultimately we sort of feel like Squadron 42 by itself is a whole full game, and you're getting Star Citizen's a whole full game. So in the future, not this year, but we probably will. All you guys at back get everything now, but later on down the road, we may split those out because, I mean, we took something that we thought was some missions and story, and made it into this huge thing alongside this other huge thing. So there you go. That's CitizenCon here. I think there was some discussion of, oh, look, a big cake that I'm seeing behind me. Are we doing the cake out?
That's my birthday cake. That's 2 days after my birthday.
But
nice.
Or should I finish my closing here before we do the cake? I'm just saying, because all I'm going to say is, everything that you guys have seen, the SE Alpha 2.0 stuff, which we are going to give you guys in the very, very near future, plus the stuff that we've done for Squadron 42, plus a whole bunch of other stuff that we're working on that you guys haven't seen yet, is all enabled by you guys here, out there, watching this, and all the backers. And so we couldn't do it without your support.
Yes, and community.
It's really, really appreciated because
I think Chris is hungry.
I'm getting to make the game I've always wanted to make, and
Jared's not around.
I'm pretty sure it's the game all the folks working on the game want to play too. So, thank you very much, and look at this. Wow, that's pretty awesome. We should do a little video of this.
Well, before
so we're
we
3
sing,
years old.
Before we sing, Chris, if you'd like to introduce the guys from Foundry 42. And some of our founders.
Yes. Okay. Here we go. For my
All right.
So we got some of the key. You obviously Ortwin, who's one of the founders at the very beginning.
I'll think about that too, Chris Nardry.
I know. Come on, guys.
Carl,
Really?
You met Dave, our lead writer. This is Paul Jones, who's the art director of Foundry 42, and all that beautiful art that you've seen to do with Squadron 42, and a lot of some of the Persistent Universe stuff has been art directed by him. Who's Nick Elms, who's the creative director of Foundry 42. So Squadron 42, and again, a lot of the other stuff I've seen. We have Phil Mellor, lead designer, and Nick and Phil. We all went to school many years ago here in Manchester.
Phil Miller, the guy
we grew up together. I've known
Phil
and Nick, I think, since I've been 4 or 5. Right? And we have Derek Senior, who's our lead engineer, technical director here at Foundry 42.
That's Miles Eckhart.
So he runs. How many engineers do we have here? I think we're up to 22, 23. So 22, 23 engineers here in the UK. How many designers do we have? There's like 5,000 of you guys, right? Right, 22. I think you win, right, Paul? How many artists?
Like over 35.
Right. And we also have customer service here. So I don't know where Patrick is back there. So he runs. We have a pretty big customer service department here. Patrick Pro. So I'm sure you guys interact with him. And how many people here we have?
80 positions to be filled.
5. So yeah,
to be filled.
This is the UK is our biggest studio. There's 130 people here. We're growing. So I think it's probably because the weather's never great here, so everyone just stays inside and works. But anyway, it's been amazing so far. The 3 years so far. I'm looking forward to many more years as we. Not only finish the game, but beyond that, sort of keep enhancing it, keep adding content, and making a virtual playground for us all to adventure around in. And I would say, happy birthday, Star Citizen. One minute. Should we sing? Should we sing happy birthday to Star Citizen? All right. All right. I'm really bad at singing. Who's got a good voice? Phil? No?
Sandy should sing. She probably has a great voice.
You could sing, Phil. Well, you got some Welsh background.
Hello.
1, 2, 3.
What's going on with you?
Happy birthday to you.
We're streaming.
Happy
We're live.
birthday to you. Happy birthday, star citizen. Happy birthday to you.
Chat is going off, man.
So do I get a credit or what? How big are the pieces? No, blow it up, sorry. Am I going to get all those all at once? Okay.
Okay, give me a sight that he blew on.
I spit over this. I'm going to be terrible at cutting it. Who's going to be a good cutter? Wow. Yeah, I don't know how to cut this.
You cut enough slices for everyone.
I don't know. All right, give up. Who knows how to cut this properly? I mean, how am I going to do it? Maybe you go from the corner? Oh, they're going to cut it. Oh, sorry. The people working here will cut it. Sorry. Sorry. If anyone has the badly cut bit, that was me. Sorry.
I want tape. Darn it.
Anyway, so thank you guys very much. I think we still all hanging out, having some drinks, right? So have fun. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for backing. Thank you for coming here. And I'll be happy to hang out and say hi to everyone. So.
That he will do. Chris will hang around, man, and show you love.
Griffin, how much money do you think they paid to get that plane in
there? You figured the Concourse were already decommissioned, so it couldn't have been that much.
I was kidding. Probably being tossed in the
just
thing.
teasing. Yeah, they just rented the space out. But part of the controversy that did come up at that time was that because some people came in on the middle of it, they thought it was an actual built set that CIG spent backer money on, not realizing that, you know, like you said, Kimmy, the plane was already there and all this other stuff. They just basically brought some folding chairs in, and that was it. But this
they came in and said, the plane.
Yeah. I mean, this was a real controversial time, again, because as we mentioned,
they went off.
There was issues in relation to Squadron 42 not coming out in 2014. Then as fastcart mentioned, it was mentioned in the video that it would be out in 2016. So we were kind of in a really weird space at this time in relation to Squadron 42, at least. Of course, Star Citizen is going to take longer, but Squadron 42 did have a projected launch date of either 2014 or 16 at one point. So, anything?
I was surprised to see that 2016 at the end of the video. I forgot they was actually in the video.
Yep, that's where it came from. Kimmy, anything you take away from this in particular compared to where we are now from 2015?
Yes, Chris Roberts. He retired from giving hardcore dates on releases.
Yeah. And I think to your point, in 2016, I think he even says that from the stage that his people told him to stop doing it. So I think at that point, like you said, he realizes not a good thing to do.
told him before that.
Yeah, not a good thing to do. Fastcart, what about you? Anything in particular from 2015 till now that kind of sticks out with you?
I'm still waiting to get my call to when they'll ask me to be in a mocap suit and be in the game. But, you know, hopefully that'll happen soon. But no, seriously, there was not surprises, but things I didn't recall, like the Saber. This is the year the Saber was announced, and this is the year the Star Map came out and stuff like that. Yeah. I was like, it's been so long. The years just meld together sometimes, and I don't remember what year is what sometimes. So it's good to go back and watch these things for remember. Oh, this is the year that happened. Yeah.
Star Map for sure.
Chat, I don't know if there's anything that you guys that stood out to you. We don't have any questions this week because I think most of the questions were kind of scrolling as we were going along, so there's nothing that anybody submitted. For me, I had forgotten that the Star Map came out this early. It felt like it was a little later to me. I was just surprised that it was in 2015. And to Kemi's point earlier, they have they have built that map out more and more. So if it's been a while since you visited the star map, we really would encourage you to go back and take a look at it, because they're constantly building, and the animations just look incredible. I mean, it's just gotten better and better over the years, and ultimately they plan on that all being incorporated into our ship in Moby. So it'll be interesting to see how that tech ultimately comes together, where the quality level is at that level in game. So, but we're getting there. You know, we're getting there.
We need it in our hangar.
Yeah, Zelix says, I liked Sandy's passionate speech, but that less corporate feel I miss a bit. Yeah, I hear you.
Good point, Zelix.
Yeah, for people who were around back then, we remember that was a pretty tense time. But I also noted that when Chris and Sandy met each other on the stage, they hugged each other on here. And normally we didn't see any interaction between them. But in this particular case, it was like, you know, it was nice to see that. You know, I don't think some people kind of freaked out about that. How come they never said they were married? And all this. I'm like, well, first of all, it's none of your business. They don't have to say that they're married.
Theory. Oh, you know, that's nepotism.
Yeah, you know, there was a whole lot of stuff. Like I said, there was a lot. This was kind of a tumultuous time from 2014-15 until 2016-17. But there was a lot of good stuff here that we saw. Some things that you mentioned, fastcart, that have come into fruition, came away right away within a year. Some stuff we had to wait a little longer for. So listen, we're going to cut the show here because we have had you guys on for a long time today, but we really appreciate you all being here. Just to give you a quick update, next week, our show is, you guys know, each month we've been taking on starships, and next month will be alien ships. This is Alien Ship Week, as you guys know, so we're going to talk about alien ships, how many of you guys own, oh boy, somebody mentioned the name who has no name. Don't even mention it.
Don't do it.
But next week we're going to be talking about alien ships. So those of you who love alien ships, I know there are big Banu Merchantman fans in here, and some of the other ships that are coming. I know Fastcart, that's his ship, that's his thing, his trade. We're going to be talking about that. Kimmy, you got anything before we go? Anything you want to say? Tell them where we can find you. Make sure we tell people where you can find you.
Oh man, Twitter, WDP Fool 65, Kimmy65. You can find me on Twitch, man. Time to time streaming. I'm talking about stuff in the verse. Ask me some questions. I'm there. Look for me, Kimmy65.
Kimmy65, the professor, and Fastcart. Anything that you got?
I just want to do my best Keanu Reeves impersonation and say, Boku, you're awesome. No, but you can find me on twitter.com/fast_cart. I'm on Miss Hart's show on Tuesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern. You can find me in chat on CitizenCon RPG and Vampire Masquerade show on Wednesday around 7:30 Eastern, and also on Friday 7:30 Eastern. What was that, Kimmy?
What you were mentioning about Masquerade? I love that show.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you love that show, yeah. And sometimes I'm on Relay, and sometimes on the Actor Pub on Saturday.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. I want to give 2 shout outs. One to Ops Chief, thank you for that gave us a subscription that went to Boku. Thank you. Right at the last minute, you got it in under the wire. We appreciate that. And I want to give a big shout out to one of our other soul citizens who just came in the room. Our brother, we can't help but mention Dig That 32. Dig That, guys, you all check him out. Dig That makes some of the best Star Citizen videos. I'm telling you, look up Dig That 32 on YouTube. The brother put some dynamic, very hip videos out, and they're very different. So check him out when you get a chance.
He's got the pipes.
Absolutely, he's got the voice, and we appreciate him stopping in real quick tonight. Miss Harts, I don't want to start naming names because I don't want to leave anybody out. Scuba, I can keep it down the list, but you all, we really appreciate the support you guys are giving us. What's up, Fastcart?
Sorry, I just want to say thanks for the follow to Admiral Kusanagi just now.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Well, he's been interacting with us all night. I thought he was already a follower. See there?
Me too.
I know, right?
Yeah, he act like he lives here. So I thought, okay, he's one of our guys already. We appreciate that.
07 Black Intellect.
All right, and we got Dig in as well. So we really
Dig that.
Appreciate everybody. Again, next week we're going to be dealing with starships, alien ships in particular. So look forward to that. We are going to see alien exploration. For those of you who are into that, we are going to look at doing a raid and we are going to rate Fairassault. Fairassault is out there right now. You guys give a shout to Fairassault.
All the way
Very
Australia.
cool streamer. Yes, from Australia. Give him a shout. Say hi to him. Check out what he's doing. He's in Star Citizen right now. We appreciate you guys, and we will see you guys hopefully next week. Take care of yourself. Stay safe. Peace, love, and soul. Take care.
Hey,